the city, it's your boy N.O.R.E.
What up, it's DJ EFN.
And this is Military Crazy War, Yappy Hour, Drink Champs, Yappy Hour, make some noise!
Yes.
When we started this show, we started this saying that we wanted to give flowers to legends, to people who are icons, people who came before us, people who have knocked down the door for us. In many ways, this show wouldn't exist without this brother right here.
Absolutely.
This brother has lead. When you see so many people with podcasts, so many people owe him flowers. So many, he was, at one point, everybody wanted to be in front of the camera. They didn't want to be interviewing the stars. I did research and they said in hip hop, he pulled off the first pull-up interview where they come to you. He been in Compton with Eazy-E.
We gotta talk about that.
Yes,
He's been everywhere. He's interviewed Tupac and Biggie Smalls.
Yes,
Rest in peace.
Yes.
He's a legend. He's an icon. He's a book writer. He's a producer. Blondie shouted him out. And Art Basel should be called his name.
They owe him a check.
They owe him a check for sure.
Wow.
He is an innovator. He's the reason why we're here. In case you don't know, when we talk about the one, only Fab Five. Now I haven't been drinking, but I'm gonna drink today because I'm celebrating you,
Thank
bro.
you, man.
Listen, man.
What an introduction.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Thank you.
We do research, and every now and then, I get blown back, right? And I realized how much Yo MTV Raps was for that time, right? And then I realized you produced one of the very first MTV videos that was hip hop on MTV.
Well, I was directing mad videos. The first video I directed, a little before Yo MTV Rap started, was my philosophy for KRS.
God damn, make some noise for that. God damn. So hold on, because I don't want to. All right, because I want the kid in Best Style Brooklyn.
Can you bring the mic up to yourselves a little bit?
Yes.
I want them to. You just said your first video. This is your first video, correct?
That I directed.
He directed. Okay, so
but making Wild Style, that was my film school.
Okay.
I like to say.
All right, so let's bring people to the beginning, right?
Got it.
How did you? How did we get our camera? How did you start thinking that you? Because music videos wasn't the thing at the time.
No,
it was actually radio records,
right?
And then so eventually it got to.
Well, it wasn't until MTV that music videos really
blew up on a national basis.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you start?
How did it all begin for me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just written a memoir, which is there's so many stories I've been just dying to share with people because it's been more than a blessing. But I definitely started out with a mission. But I came from someplace. So growing up around my people, I had jazz musicians. My pops had an eclectic group of friends, very intelligent, young brothers that was wanting change. You know what I'm saying? Things were beginning to happen as they were coming up. Max Roach was my godfather and my dad's childhood friend. So I used to pick up on a lot of the game around these guys. They was mad hip. They was puffing cannabis.
Jazz was like the first hip hop, if you think about it. They were like gangsters.
Thank you. And even in the beginning of jazz, they were looked at as worse than gangster rap.
They were trying to demonize jazz.
Come on now, let's get it. Don't get it twisted. We're talking racism, one of them things that go on. So this is developing in the 1920s. So this was the way a lot of our culture had been pigeonholed and looked at. So for me, having inspired and learning things, what I grew up around, my pop's friends, Max Roach, these cats were incredible artists, but not always. So I used to hear them complain about not being able to control what they were doing. They were just as highly intelligent as anybody we know, but they imagine that in a time when you was being held back. I want to start a label. I want to do this. I want to write the article. Not that, the other folks that was, loving the culture was all bad, but it's like, hey, I'd like to do this too.
Right.
So those things kind of rubbed off. up. So growing up, being a wild kid in Bed-Stuy, doing, whatever, how we come up and doing, I began to, I used to cut school and go to the libraries.
Okay.
And I was...
you cut school and went to a different type of school. That's it.
He cut school to get educated.
He cut school to read.
I would cut school and go to the museums in New York City. That was like going to Disneyland for me. I go to the Metropolitan Museum, the Whitney. I was just mad curious.
Go Manhattan though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Back in the days in the schools, they would give you every month, you got a different pass where you can get on the trains and buses for free.
Right.
I was just entertaining myself and travel around. At the same time, in the 70s, graffiti was strong. It was everywhere. And it was developing from just writing your name, wherever it needed to be, to the letters, the characters.
The big pieces.
Began to evolve.
Right.
And so I began to, been in museums a lot and looked at the work of pop artists, Andy Warhol, Lichtenstein, Rauschenberg, like I just absorbed all of that. I'm like, wait a minute. The stuff that we's doing in the subways is very similar. They inspired by the same stuff.
Yo, I didn't realize that.
That was the connection. So then I'm like, man, if I could figure out a way to, tell this story and get to some people that would listen to this. This is before there was any appreciation.
Right.
Hip hop is still not even hip hop yet. It's just wild parties going on.
Right.
I began to think like, what is happening there with the music? What's happening with this type of visual art, which is really evolving? There's the form of dance. This is a new culture. If I could get to a position where I can share that with people, that would be a jump off. Plus, I was interested in taking my work from having done graffiti to getting into the gallery spaces.
Okay.
And the idea was to make this film Wild Style. So I had this idea to combine all of those things together.
That's the directing part it comes from.
No, that becomes the first film.
Okay.
I collaborated with a guy named Charlie Ahern.
Okay.
And I pitched the idea to him. He was
So your brainchild, to be clear.
basically the basic idea that Charlie was with it. He has seen Lee Quinones's work.
And Wild Style came out before Beat Street, correct?
Wild Style is the first.
The first.
This is the moment right here.
I ain't gonna lie, I wish you could have seen your own face.
Nah, baby. No, it's all good, though. Beat Street has some good elements in it now.
Okay.
There was a lot of other movies that came out, rapping, breaking 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah,
it was all trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just cash in on this.
Yeah, I said it first, right? I like breaking, yeah.
Harry Belafonte and them, they produced that, and they had good intention, and a lot of good heads is in that. But they followed the blueprint that we laid down, which is how the game goes. Copy from the best. But basically, me and this cat Charlie got down, collaborated, went up to the Bronx together. I was up on that there was this new music. I'm from Bed-Stuy, but no, you had to know what was going on uptown. So I finally, when I'm working with Charlie, we go into research, and then we start heading uptown. Ecstasy Garage, T-Connection.
Sounds like a place I like.
One more time.
It sounds like a place I like. Ecstasy Garage.
No, this is...
like real quick, just to put it in perspective, like this is obviously pre-internet. Like this is
pre-hip hop.
I'm saying you're definitely pre.
No,
you even naming it hip hop. So like you had to like really go into these places. That you kind of heard something was going on to actually experience it.
The way the music really traveled back then was via boombox.
Right.
And I always had a double cassette. So if you was blessed enough to get close to it, yo baby, run me a copy. That's what them double cassettes. Okay, man, I run off for 90-minute, whatever, 60 step, and then the music spread.
Right.
And that's how the music really got
that
to
was viral.
Right.
That was the way to go viral.
Perfection. That was the origins of viral. But it was hand to hand, really grapevine type of stuff.
Right.
And so the idea was to put all this stuff in a film and showcase it. And that's the movie we made called Wild Style. But I learned a little bit about filmmaking because I was like, you're like the co-producer, and then what became when I walked in, y'all was playing some of the instrumentals from the film. I wanted to use the real music. I'm like, what the hell? Everything was so underground, but we was connected with Theodore and Flash and Charlie Chase and Tony. We was connected with the core of the scene. And Charlie said, no, we can't use those records. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go and make this music. So I pulled together a bass player, a drummer, listened to some beats, and told them, yo, give me something like this. And then Chris Stein from Blondie, him and Chris and Debbie were the core of Blondie. I had hooked up with them and other people on the downtown New York scene, and I would run these ideas by them, and they became supporters, looking out. guidance, introducing me to people like Andy Warhol, et cetera, et cetera.
That Blondie record?
Yeah, so that record, Rapture,
Rapture
comes out of me. Yo, this is what's going on.
And she shot you out, right?
New culture. They shouted me out, shouted out Flash. You know, say Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. Which, by the way, is the title of my memoir.
Right.
And it was just all love. But they really appreciated it. Shouted out what I was doing. You know, don't strain your brain, paint a train.
Right.
But nobody really knew who I was at the time. But it really put the spark in people. Like, what is this all about? And it just became a number one.
Blondie was like the Lady Gaga of that era.
Good description.
Yeah. You can't put it up right here? And yeah.
That's a really good description. In fact, Lady Gaga was on the club scene coming up. My man Troy Carter, brother out of Philly, managed her in the beginning.
Get the hell out
Troy
of here.
Carter's a genius. You need to have him come through here. He's
just like Madonna was exposed. It's like they were all in those club scenes.
Yeah, well,
intermingling with the hip hop scene as well.
That's right. And we was all tight. And when she came on the scene, Mark Kamens, who produced some of her first records, Fab, this girl just in from Detroit. I'm working on her first records.
Madonna's from Detroit?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She hoodie, yeah.
Yes, initially.
Yeah, she from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Okay, just throw that on her. Just throw that on her.
You know?
Y'all got Frank Ocean, Blondie, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, Rapture. Yeah.
There you go.
No, you gotta go to Rapture, right?
Rapture.
You trying to find that one?
Yeah, there you go.
Just
now what? I know you guys don't know, but in New York City, that record was turned
everywhere.
I was only in New York City at the time. I didn't try nowhere else. I wouldn't know.
As a young wannabe DJ watching Walls, I was like, yo, that's funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that became a number one record. It's a wild story.
So how does this record come about? Okay.
So basically, once again, in my pursuit to make connections with people, to get the movie made and connect and to get things popping, and with my visual art and everything, we became really tight. And I'm playing tapes for them. I'm running it down, and I'm seeing a comparison between what's developing in the Bronx and the way the new wave and the punk rock scene jumped off. Because I just happened to catch on to that early, and I'm reading. I'm like, this is wild what they doing.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's kind of like what rap was doing, like because they had the spikes, so people was mistaking it for punk rock at first, right? Like a black version of punk rock. I'm sorry.
That's exactly right, because those things was happening. Some people, like when Flash and them got real wild, it was like a punk funk thing.
Yeah. There was synergies there.
But they was looking at what Rick James and them was doing and whatever, which was all good, but it was in the air at that time. But basically, they had told me that they wanted to make some funkier music. I mean, out of that new wave scene, they were literally like the biggest group. They just went mainstream in a really cool way. But they still was really about the underground and downtown.
You talking about Blondie?
I'm talking about Blondie.
Okay, go ahead.
And so they said they wanted to do something a little more funkier music or whatever people could dance to. So then they jetted to go to Cali or whatever to work on their next album. When they came back, they called me to come over to the crib. They said, man, we want to drop some of these new tracks on you. They played me a couple of songs, and then they said, okay, here's something a little different. And then when they put it on, I'm like, the singing part, I'm like, wow, this is fly. And then when she starts rapping, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I totally thought that this was just something they did in the studio goofing just to let me hear. Because they never said, we're going to try to do a rap record or whatever,
you didn't think it was serious.
And I thought just that they was playing around in the studio, here's a special little something just to play for Freddy, whatever. So I loved that, and that was so cool. That's how I thought it was. It wasn't until 2 months later, I was in Paris for the first time after my second art show in Italy, and I'm hanging out actually with two members of the Talking Heads, and we get into a cab on our way to a restaurant, and I hear this song in the cab. I'm like, how does this cab driver...
N.O.R.E. is you, right?
No, how does he get a copy of this song?
That's what I'm saying.
Does that mean it hit the radio?
Yeah.
They said, Freddy, this is the next Blondie single.
Away, Lee.
This is the next Blondie single on the new album.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, I never thought it was going to be like a serious record. I thought they was just playing.
Right.
It goes on to be number one.
Goddamn.
Did you think that was good automatically? Did you think it was maybe they might be looked at as like a clowning parody of hip hop at the time? Or
I wasn't too concerned about that because rap, probably the only thing most people had heard at that time was Rapper's Delight. Right. So nobody was really up on it.
Which was getting backlash as well from within the culture.
Well, yeah, for obvious reasons.
Right.
But in the country mainstream, people had, no, it was a fun record. People didn't know it was a real culture. That's one of the things I wanted to show in Wild Style, which is a part of what Wild Style ends up doing. It shows who we are.
Right.
Because our decision was to use all the artists, the musicians, the graffiti writers, the breakdancers, the b-boys to play themselves. You feel me? That was one of the concepts me and Charlie came up with for the film. But basically, it was a surprise to me that the record caught on the way it did. I was like, yo, it's cool that they did it, that they shouted me out. They talked about things we was doing. You know, they shouted out Flash. It was just like things I told them. I said, yo, as far as DJs, Flash is known for being, you know, super fast with it. Fly guys and fly girls is how the scene, you know, got people represent.
And she took it, put it in the rap.
And she freaked
That's
it.
what the artist does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
she put her own little spin on it. And it just was a lot of love, you know what I mean? And so, so the other interesting thing about the video, so I had told Flash to come through, because, you know, we working on putting...
Grandmaster Flash, by the way, guys.
Grandmaster Flash.
The legend.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, continue.
Grandmaster Flash. And so, because we still in pre-production on Make the Movie Wild Style. And so I knew Flash and them. I said, yo, come through. This record just came out, you know... You get a shout out, you know, shout me on the record, come through and be in the video. Videos wasn't really a thing yet. And Flash says, okay, I'm coming. But he
did not come.
He never shows up. It's only recently that he's explained to me that Sylvia was like, yo, don't you know, stay away from that, whatever.
Sylvia Rome?
Sylvia Robinson that ran...
Sugar Hill Records?
Sugar Hill Records.
Yeah. I'm on point.
So Jean-Michel, that's my man too, that we was all...
Let me just tell you something. That was the most flex ever. Jean-Michel, he didn't even call him Basquiat. Yo, come on, make that was a flex right there. Yo,
you dudes are too much.
Let me stop you for 1 second. Please remember that story, right?
Yeah.
But the other day, I'm sitting there, right? I had posted a picture with Pun. And I go to I went to I think it was a sneaker store. And the kid is just telling me, and he's just asking me about Pun. And I'm sitting there, and all the questions he's asking me, it was like normal questions. It was like, you know, he's my friend. Like, and I realized he looked at Pun as a superhero. Wow. And I realized he is a superhero. Yeah. It's just he's my friend.
You're too close to it.
I'm too close. Like what I just said the other day, I said, I didn't realize how dope Mobb Deep was because I was like so much, like kind of like
close to it. Yes, I know what you mean.
So, so now with you, I'm watching documentaries on you. I'm watching interviews, and you always like you have the coolest friends ever. Let me just say that. Let me just say that, right? But
therefore, he's one of the coolest guys ever.
But immediately after this guy asked me about Pun, I thought about you and how you just said
Jean-Michel.
Jean-Michel. Yeah. And you said it so nonchalant. But the thing about it is, here's the deal. This is a person. This is personal for me.
Got you.
I knew Pun was a legend, right? When I walked with him, I knew it was something special about him. I knew it was different. He goes on and becomes even more of a folktale, more of a legend, more of a, like, you know what I'm saying? Like more of a story. In your situation, with Basquiat, we only really have stories, right? Like, he's the Jesus that we actually got a picture of.
Wow.
Right? He's changed culture. He's changed shit. And you guys were fucking tight as hell. Yeah. Like, I'm getting in your business, man.
No, it's all good, baby. I'm here to share. Like, and it gets even deeper in these pages. That's main and stories I wanted to share with people.
Can you tell the other another one? So, how did you meet Basquiat? How did this? And let me get to the first question. Right?
Sure enough.
Did you know how special he was when he was here?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
Like the way you knew Pun was special.
Right.
Or somebody that you rock with. Right. That y'all become like comrades in the game. Right. And you respect him, he respect you, and y'all trying to get it popping. Right. It's like, it really was just that.
But let me cut you off for 1 second, because with Pun, there was a Heavy D. There was a Biggie before him. There's no other Basquiat before, and there's happened to be no other Basquiat after. Yeah, so this is the reason why your question is a little tougher. I'm sorry.
No, you're 100% correct, because there's very few black artists that were able to make the moves, particularly that Jean made, that we made.
Right.
And these were things, what was so dope about connecting with him, like I told you, I cut school and used to go to museums too.
Museums as well.
Museums all over the city. I got very familiar, essentially, with the history of art. Not like on a scholarly level, but a lot of different genres of art I looked at in the museums. I would look at books and read a little more.
You became well-versed in it.
I got, it's an ongoing process, but I was like, wow. And then like reading about a certain painter or seeing some work that you feel, and then you could stand right in front of it, like in a museum, like in a gallery first. And that was like, oh my God, I felt like a connection to that. So when I connect with people on the downtown scene in New York, like Chris and Debbie from Blondie, Glenn O'Brien, rest in peace. There was a whole bunch of cool people I connected with that I got plugged into that downtown scene. And Jean-Michel shows up right around that same time. He had started out doing these street little, him and another cat named Al Diaz initially, it was called Samo, and he would tag up, like the tag was Samo. With a copyright symbol, but he would write these little phrases like, they would be checking people or really make you think, like messages, if you will, kind of poetic, but he would be putting people in check. Like one I remember, he was like, Samo, checking those who are on the scene trying to play art with daddy's money. Or little things like that would be like, ooh, yeah, that's really what's going on.
He was street writing it?
Yeah, this would be little tags.
Okay,
if you Google it, you'll see what these same tags look like. And he was just writing them, so they were very like, you would see them if he was moving through the village. He would hit a few trains. Him and his cat Al Diaz did it together, but then Jean just, became like he became the like face of it, so to speak. And so he did that for a while, but he also was very creative. He was trying to figure things out and thinking about being an artist. He was in a band for a while. That was a cool thing to be on that downtown scene, to be in a band. So we meet, and then it's like right away he's very aware of art history. Because, coming up in Bed-Stuy, I'm hanging, I'm thugging. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this, that, and the third. But I'm just knowing about the art stuff was not what I'm trying to kick with cats on the corner or whatever.
Yeah, hip-hop niggas wasn't into art at that time, right?
Nobody in the hood. So it was a very, rare thing. So when me and Jean connect, and I'm like, yo.
And he hood, he from Haiti.
He from Haiti, but we had similar backgrounds. Both our fathers was like accountants and whatever. But he was like, he basically had left home. His pops wasn't with it, and John just broke off. So he was in the village, making moves, bouncing around. And so when we connect, it was like, yo, I know about Warhol, Jasper Johns, Rauschenberg, all these artists, contemporary artists, abstract expressionists. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Somebody like my age who's up on this stuff and we could talk about this stuff. And so right away, we was on a similar mission in a similar part of town. We just became tight because there wasn't too many brothers on the scene at that time trying to make moves. And right away, we linked up. I'm putting him on, yo, it's this new kind of music going on uptown.
Put him on the hip hop.
Well, once again, it ain't even hip hop yet.
Not even hip hop.
But I'm tapped in.
I got tapes.
I got Cold Crush tapes. I got tapes. Was fantastic because I'm getting next to the scene now. Yo, this is that new shit right here because you couldn't hear this anywhere. You feel me? He was like, Sean was like, oh yeah, man, And then we making moves, going to the downtown clubs. That was a move like the Mud Club and places like that. We bouncing around the East Village downtown, and that's how it all got popping. And Jean's star begins to rise, rather quickly, just being a cool cat on the scene. Then as people see the things that I've done with the art thing, and I'm opening and bringing helping other graffiti cats. So it's me and Lee. Our names start to ring a little bit. And then we are working on Wild Style where we're gonna feature this. So other cats that's real official graffiti people, they start getting into the mix too. Because this is opportunity now to look at our work in galleries. So it's alternative type galleries, like a gallery in the South Bronx called Fashion Motor. A gallery opened in the East Village really to show our work exclusively called the Fun Gallery. And this changed the whole game because it had been in Soho, which was where the contemporary art scene was really popping, and we shifted the whole game with our energy. And then this gallery opened to show our work, myself, Futura, Lee, Crash, Days, Pink, and then the scene caught fire like real quick. And it was crazy.
Does Warhol come around you guys in this moment?
Warhol began, because, and then one of the things I did, because I was such a fan and dug his whole, just the whole impact he had on culture and the cool factor going on, and to let people know that some people doing graffiti was really hip to art history, I did a train covered in Campbell's soup cans. Lee Quinones got down on it with me. It was the idea I had to let them know that we was hip to art history and that we was coming. We was, the move was on, you feel me? And it began to come together in ways that,
I mean, look at the impact to today. We're in Wynwood right now, which is an example of what that ended up being.
That's exactly right.
So let me ask you. Like I said, I knew Pun was special.
Yeah.
I didn't know how special he was. I didn't know how legendary he was.
Right.
I didn't know how much he meant to the people till after he passed away. And I got to see it, and I got to see the impact. And I got to realize that my friend always belonged to the world. I thought he was just my friend. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
and
phenomenal rapper. Unbelievable.
But what we got to do was I got to do records for him. He got to do records for me. And there's a bunch of records that's laying around. Yeah, you want to try the watermelon mix? The watermelon salsa mix? Please, just try it one time.
The fuck is
Because you want to mix yours with salsa? Yeah, try the watermelon salsa. Just one drink. Just one drink, because you're going to turn into Kool-Aid. I'm telling you. All right, so me and Pun, we got the chance to do that, right? Did you ever be around Basquiat and be like, man, draw me some for me?
That's funny. No, but people ask all the time, because of the whole unbelievable, phenomenal success of Jean, everything. It's really,
let's try.
It's really like a remarkable thing, and the numbers associated with his work, which are just insanity. People often always ask, "Yo, you got any of that work?" Because shit is ridiculous.
I got a Pun verse somewhere laying around.
Yeah, no, it's such a great
that's not you.
comparative, type of situation. You and Pun, me and Jean, and me and other friends that were artists. What artists oftentimes would do is they would give each other work or just make a trade. Like, yo, man, I like that. Yo, okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So those kind of things is how we dealt with each other in terms of the work or whatever. But yeah, with Jean, it was just a unique situation. He had a sincere understanding of going for it in a really hard way. Then he was such a unique individual. He would cut his hair in real wild kind of ways, dreadlocks growing hairs. He
was wild.
High top. He would do real wild, different things.
It looks so cool now, but did it look cool back then?
Yeah, but sometimes, being that, you got the ignorance that goes along with racism and whatever. A lot of people was real cool on the scene, but sometimes we be making a move, walking down certain areas. This is before Soho or any of that downtown was anything like it is now. And people sometimes seeing us, but particularly Jean, they cross on the other side of the street.
Why? Because his hair,
people, dreadlocks was still a new thing. But that's come on, what, you being so stupid? Then that becomes a style now that people replicate all over the world. But at that time, it was really extreme. You really didn't see a lot of that, but people would just react really negatively. Jean told me sometimes he'd be getting on an elevator and folks would see him and get off. So that went on. Cabs wasn't trying to pick us up. So it was a lot of stuff that we had to deal with more than.
What years is this around?
This is the early 80s, essentially, when it began to start popping for us, early 80s going through. But it began to change because a lot of the white guys that were cab drivers, they moved on, and cab drivers, yellow cab drivers primarily became people of color.
Immigrants
and things changed. But definitely, Jean, is just an incredible cat. Real cool. We had a lot of fun going to clubs, doing things. But, he definitely is just exploded, which was amazing to see it happen.
Was he because we hear other, and this is pure ignorance question.
Go ahead, it's okay.
We hear of other black artists, but we don't hear other black cool artists, right?
Right.
Was there other artists before him?
Yeah, there were definitely other black artists. Because of the segregation and the da-da-da-da, there was a black art scene for sure that goes back to the time of the Harlem Renaissance and what have you. You know what I'm saying? Artists like Romar Bearden and Jacob Lawrence. There's incredible black artists that made incredible work. A part of the Harlem Renaissance happening was black folks for the first time in our history being in this country, and you obviously know the history, we was migrating, it was called a Great Migration from the South, and still oppression after slavery ended. Black folks was like, we going north. We trying to get to Chicago, we trying to get to New York, even though they probably raised the prices on us, we was trying to get away from all that pressure that we were still under. And I like to think that the celebration that went on of kind of feeling free for the first time, that really creates the Harlem Renaissance. So people began to start writing intellectual stuff, you know, like Harlem.
The arts flourish, right.
Arts flourish. Right. You know, Marcus Garvey, like we move in politics, like we really exercising all the elements. And so there were artists, incredible visual artists at that time. And there were writers like Langston Hughes, like Zora Neale Hurston. There's a whole
we know why was Basquiat the artist hip-hop embraced?
That's a great question.
Right.
And I guess it's the cool factor. This is so great to see all this transpire.
Was it you? I'm trying to throw you to
but is that
a bit of that, but yeah, absolutely.
Because was it back then, that scene embracing him?
Because I want to look at it. Sorry, I want to look at it like you are the guy. All right. There's art and hip-hop, right?
Yeah.
And hip-hop is art, right?
Correct.
That's 1,000,000%.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But I want to credit you. This is my opinion. This is not Fab saying this. This is me saying this. What the person who brought art into hip hop.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Because now you see Swiss Beats, you see Jay-Z. I had a whole conversation with Jay-Z for 2 minutes, and he was talking to me about art. I knew nothing he was talking about, but I was like,
So once again, this is
like I was like, yep, because I didn't know.
So at that point in the game, clearly I'm the kind of helping lay down the foundations of this. And it's not too many people, but in the conversations Jean and I would have, these are things we would sometimes talk about. We knew that we would eventually get it. It's just that we was in position at a time, we was just way ahead. And so, what I think a part of what happened is, which was fascinating for me, because most people know me from what I've done, even though my foundation and background is making art, exhibiting, all of that stuff, along with Jean and all these other people, I had other interests as well, to work in film, to work in music. Jean did as well. And so Jean starred in a film called Downtown 81. We talked about producing movies. We was into foreign films. He turned me on to foreign films. I turned him on to stuff like the surrealist films of Louis Buñuel, that Salvador Dali worked with them doing wild stuff on film. So
he pronounced everybody's name.
Salvador Dali was out. He was
this is like a surrealist, but he was a brilliant guy. That was a big influence on what Andy, because he was the most famous artist until Andy, like he became that. It was a very specific thing, and so. These are just things that we were all focused on, you know, at the time. And, and Jean definitely, this is the part of the thing that we share. We were both aware of, how the game had been played, but being artists of color, how to maneuver and how to make moves into the scene. So we had that synergy, like that punk rock and that new wave thing was a lot of people that were open, that we connected with, that dug and saw what we were doing and looked at it in the proper way. And that's how, once again, some of the first shows and stuff began to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so
it felt like all of these scenes are like the counterculture scenes of the time that were united.
Correct.
They kind of saw kinship in all being counterculture.
Absolutely. And that's a part of what I dug too, even though I'm a little kid, when I'm reading about stuff that happened in the 60s when Andy just popped off.
Andy Warhol.
Warhol.
That's right.
We talking about the 60s. We talking rock and roll. We talking that whole cultural revolution that went on.
And a lot of drugs too.
Andy controlled, he didn't control. Andy was like dominant force in that. And so looking at those other elements, and plus they was having mad fun. We'd all look so cool to us. So we definitely were inspired by that and looking to do, in some regards, our version of that. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, when we began to get it popping, Andy came around. Like, yo, y'all doing it. You know what I'm saying? And made connections with him. It was an encouraging thing. And it just kind of continued to grow.
Now, someone was the same question with Andy Warhol, right? If a person has an Andy Warhol in their house,
right,
that is like a safe.
That's
like, you know, like,
you shouldn't even have it in your house.
Yeah, it's crazy now. That's why, once again, the question that I get asked about if I have Basquiat, it's like, wow, it's an awkward question.
I feel like you got his like stuff that he doodled.
I mean, come on, that's my man.
Question because of what?
Because of the value. Like you got people that have, you know, when the art gets that crazy, you have to secure it. It has to be insured. You have to have next levels of, you know, security. Sometimes it's like, do you want to have, you know, you got to make sure everything is right. It's crazy.
Do you feel weird though that and sorry to cut you, but do you feel weird that your friend's work is so valuable and that you have maybe something of value but this was just your friend?
It's, you know what it is? It is, you know, the whole thing about Jean, not just that, the whole way it's developed, it's just phenomenal. That it's so unfortunate that his life was so short, but that the effect continues and resonates at a level that's just unprecedented. And that's so dope for me. 27.
Super young.
Which unfortunately people talk about.
The 27 Club.
Exactly.
Oh, that's crazy.
27 Club.
Oh, man. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison.
Amy Winehouse. Someone just recently passed it just was 27. I forget because that's why
a bunch of 60s, once again, iconic people that just was popping and running things.
You said Jim Morrison, right?
Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, probably some others. So it's just an unfortunate thing. But the other thing, I lost the train of thought to answer something you brought up before, which was brilliant. What I have noticed, and it is when people get curious about Jean and they lean in, they see that we had this close connection. And once again, most people know me from, you know, being on TV, going MTV Raps, this, that, and the third, not knowing a bunch about my art background, which is all good. Then they go, oh my goodness. And so that got a lot of hip hop folks curious. People would run up on me, yo, Fab, like I was checking, you know, this cat out, Jean-Michel, whatever. You know, it's hard to say his name at first. Now people can say it right. Yo, I saw that, you know, y'all was hanging and everything, like, what's up with that? And I'm like, yo, and I love that so much because I'm like, this is one of the things, once again, Jean and I wanted. We wanted our people to connect with it, people coming from where we coming from to understand us. And that has happened in great ways now. So as far as Black artists that I talked a little bit about from the Harlem Renaissance or whatever, and it was popping Black artists all through time. They just was kind of, like everything, largely was segregated. Now, there's a lot of younger Black artists that are doing things that are definitely making serious inroads. And because of the awareness, more people are now looking at those older Black artists that didn't get the treatment from the museums. Exactly. So now, this has all happened within the last, let's say, 10 years, is where they decided, man, we have all this work in the museum, but we don't have enough Romar Beard and Jacob Lawrence and a bunch of other very important artists that they should have had.
More appreciation.
And so that has happened now.
Can I ask another stupid question?
It's not stupid. Go ahead.
Who painted the Good Times poster?
Oh, that's a great question, by the way. That's an artist named Ernie Barnes.
Okay.
Ernie actually was an NFL football player, I understand.
What the fuck?
And his side thing was just he had this unique style of doing them characters, and then being in Good Times and Marvin Gaye's album, I want to say What's Going On.
What's going on?
That's the cover. He did the cover art.
Wow.
It made him iconic. And once again, I think he's passed away, but there's people now realizing his work, that value, and you know is.
And I believe Eddie Murphy said he has the original.
Exactly.
And I believe it's $8 million or something like that.
Once again, which is a reflection of the fact that people are like, oh my God, this is an important work of art. It was also connected to this TV show, to a great album.
Yeah.
So that's another very good point. Like Ernie Barnes, incredible, incredible
Let's make
artist.
some noise.
Yes.
Hold on, real quick, I want to go back to the making of Wild Style and
yes.
the place, the time frame that is being made. Is this pre Zulu Nation or Zulu Nation around this time as well?
Good question. I think that's probably around its time because we're doing this early 80s. And a lot of that happened, you know, the story about Zulu Nation, whatever, and
bringing all the gangs together.
The gangs coming together. So the gang thing kind of ends. That's a wind down, late 70s. I'm from Brooklyn, but that was kind of, you know, you look at the documentaries. And so that they began after that. And as the parties grew, you know, you would hear, the Zulu Nation, because Bam's name was growing as playing records in that side of the Bronx and whatever. He was strong. And then other groups around him, Soul Sonic, and a few other, Ike C, you know, there's a bunch of other things under that. So, but Wild Style was like, I would say when we started making the movie, Rappers Delight, I don't think had really even come out. That came out
I don't think
the time Charlie and I had begun to really work on the film. There was some local records that came out that I thought were very important, like on the label called Enjoy, like Super Rapping and then Spoonie G. It was like a solo. So there were a few things that came out, but it was Sugar Hill, the Rappers Delight really opened a lot of people up because it charted like across the country.
This is the Basquiat?
Yes, that's one of the kind of things he would do. Yeah, this is a good one. Same old for those of us who merely tolerate civilization.
Wow.
And you see these things and people were like, is this some type of like a conceptual artist? Because everybody else was doing their names and tagging and had their own style of how they did their graffiti. So it caught a lot of people if you were tapped into the downtown scene, they were very curious, like, who is this cat? And when he emerges and we actually meet at this party, it's a great story. In my memoir, I meet these guys that have a big loft, and they're trying to create this scene, like this art scene, and me and Lee connect with them, and we painted these big plastic sheets. Lee Quinones, the star of Wild Style.
Okay.
We and him.
Is he Puerto Rican?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Lee Quinones.
Yes. He thought it was him. His name is Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee.
Okay.
He thought he got excited.
But no relation. No relation at all.
Yeah.
Now, Lee was like the pinnacle of graffiti. What he had did that was like groundbreaking at that time. Obviously, most graffiti really is on the sides of trains, the letters, the characters, the developing, the colors. Lee paints an entire handball court. An image of Howard the Duck.
Can you remember this story? Please,
No, absolutely.
I didn't realize how racist people are.
Whoa.
I went to a handball court the other day.
Oh, shit.
All my comments was, now we really know you're Puerto Rican. I'm like, damn.
Oh, wow.
It was the most racist.
Black people played handball, too, without popular.
But you know what's the fucked up shit?
Whoa.
Was they just attacked my Puerto Rican side, bro. Like, they destroyed me. Like, it was like, yo, only Puerto Ricans is going. It was the coldest day in Miami.
I saw the
in Miami, and I found out there was a handball tournament. I could not resist. I had to go. And everybody was like, that's real Puerto Rican shit. I'm like, damn. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart.
I would have lost my tape.
He said that he used to do pizzas at the handball court.
Lee did this giant handball court with an image of Howard the Duck. It was like, wow. Nobody had did anything like that. You know, it goes up about 20, 30 feet, you know. And so Lee was the master of the game. And when I connected with him with these ideas, once again, he was like, let's get busy and do this. And that led to us having an exhibit at a gallery in Rome. A very prestigious gallery.
It's crazy.
Boom. Got our first little item written up in the Village Voice. And this Italian art dealer had been seeing the work on the trains. And he was thinking like I was. This is like a next level of pop art. And when he saw who we were, and I was standing in front of Lee's wall, in fact, because Lee, along with being super dope, one of the best that was doing it.
Definitely not N.O.R.E.
He was Lee Quinones. He was the most wanted graffiti artist in New York City. They literally have like posters with his
wanted
name.
Wanted by the law, let's be clear.
Wanted by the transit police at the time. It was like real serious. So Lee had the kid. Part of his skill of being nice in the game is not getting caught. So he was stealthy with it, like super low key. And he's like, yo, you go out and be the face and get it popping like that, which I did. And so that. Me standing in front of his wall, telling the story of who we are, little young kids taking it from the trains. We inspired by the same stuff as Warhol, Roy Lichtenstein, whatever. This art dealer gave us a show. And that was huge.
He's like the original, the British dude that's anonymous? What's his name?
Banksy is inspired by Lee's character.
The way you're describing it, that reminds me of Banksy,
Well, Banksy, because Lee...
You'll say he wants to meet Banksy.
Yeah, he's super low key, but he's...
You met Banksy?
No, but we exchanged,
okay.
people because he keeps it low key. But he definitely.
If he did, he ain't gonna tell us. Let him live.
No. But you have to reach. There's people that have engaged, but what he's doing is so specific. You have to respect the gangster of all of that because it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But I'm told he was inspired by Lee's character in Wild Style because Lee's character in Wild Style is Zorro, and essentially none of the other graph people know who he is, which is inspired by how Lee actually got down. So that was where the ideas of the story of Wild Style come from things that were going on all around us.
That's dope.
Like we about to connect with the art scene. We go to the art collector spot. Patty Astor plays the journalist coming to write about us. And, so it captures that period when the culture is just beginning to get taken serious and looked at in a, wait a minute, what's going on here? What are you guys doing? And so, so that was...
But it's so raw. It almost feels like a documentary reality.
That's exactly,
It feels so raw.
It's sort of like a docudrama because we intentionally wanted it to have an energy like that because all the people that play the characters were really who they were. So we gave them little direction. Here's the idea of what we want you to say. Say it how you'd say it.
Like the Busy Bee stuff is...
And then you have people like Busy Bee who literally is like a star. He steals every scene he's in. So when me and Charlie are going to the parties constantly taking notes on who we want to put in the movie, Busy just had this most unique personality. In fact, the first time we go to the Bronx to start our research, we go to a park, it's called a Valley, way up in the North Bronx. And we walk in and we checking things out. It's me and this white dude, Charlie, and we walk up on Busy and Busy kind of, what's going on? And then Charlie is like, hey, I'm Charlie, this is Fred. We're here to make a movie on the rap scene. And Busy goes, what? Busy runs right up on the mic, brings Charlie up. Yo, y'all, he's here to make a movie about me.
About him.
About him.
Right.
And we became immediately connected because he was like, what's going on? Like, you didn't see no kind of white folks going up to the Bronx at that time.
And the stick-up part, you've talked about this before. There's like the part where the guys come up to rob y'all or something in the...
Oh, God. Yeah, that's at one of the parties we was at. And this cat was on dust. Big, strong, overly muscle-bound cat. And I'm looking at this cat like, yo, this dude is crazy. And I'm like, Charlie, because this is, stick-up kids and all this is going on at this time. Every time.
Wild West.
You know how I used to get down. And so going up to the Bronx, which is not my territory, I'm constantly thinking this every time.
Right.
But you know what Busy told me, and I'll get back to the big guy that was smoking dust. Busy told me when we first walked up to him, he thought we was the police.
Yeah.
Like the Mod Squad or some shit. Like a
typical Bronx people.
We didn't. We looked like, who's this white guy? Who's this black guy with him? They got to be undercover.
New York undercover.
They got to be plain clothes cops. This can't be happening. And anyway, so we had this party one night, and this dude is walking around looking crazy. He got his shirt off. He cocked diesel. Right. Everybody's moving out of his way. And this is at a jam, so it's, people thugging it. But
jam is a party, guys.
Yeah.
Just in case y'all don't know. Okay.
And the whole night we there. Kaz is there. I remember Cold Crushers on the mic, a bunch of cast of characters, typical uptown party at that time. And I'm constantly going, man, I hope this cat don't lock on to us because this looks like it could be crazy. And then me and Charlie, because Charlie would always have a camera, and we taking pictures, you know, which is how we did all the research. Like you look in the early history, some of the earliest photos now are photos that Charlie and I took in making Wild Style and doing our research. At some point, I look up, and this cat locks on to us. It's really Charlie. And I see this cat start sliding through the party, across the party, coming our way. I'm going, yo, this is going to be crazy. Dude's 6'6".
Yeah.
Everybody, he definitely dusted because dude's moving kind of crazy. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And so I'm looking for something to get my hands on because I'm thinking, yo, it's about to go down, for real.
Right.
So he walks right up to us. He's standing there, and Charlie goes, Fred, I think he wants me to take his picture. This shit was super white, funny. And the dude looked at Charlie, and he just turned and slid off. The shit must have, I mean, I'm like, I swear to God, like I felt like I didn't breathe for 2 minutes because I'm like, yo, this shit's about to go down. He's about to hit my man. You know I gotta jump in it, but this dude looked crazy, you know? Anyway, that was just one of many. That was nothing really went down, which basically is the whole thing. Everything was cool, and we made the movie, which still is like a remarkable thing.
Nah, it's a classic, man.
We got it.
It's a time
A lot of great stories. A whole lot more stories. And so, like I said, one of the things I did, I made all the instrumental beats because, which Charlie was like, no, which I mentioned earlier. And so I went into the studio and made basically what I was considering like a record of break beats, about 11 tracks, all instrumental. Chris Stein put all the different sound effects and the guitar shit to make it sound weird because I played him different break beats, Mardi Gras, 7 minutes of fun, things of that nature that the DJs...
The classics, right.
Classic shit. And then we used those tracks and we pressed up about 100 pieces of vinyl, and that's what each DJ is cutting.
So they were playing them in the film?
Yeah, they're literally playing them, and then that becomes our soundtrack. We record the Cold Crush, the Fantastic, Busy and them, Double Trouble, all rhyming in the movie. That becomes our soundtrack.
But before we get into, but the reason why I went and asked about Zulu is because it sounds like when you made Wild Style, you kind of made a decision to bring these elements together that later on everybody would package as hip hop.
Yeah, well, that's a part of...
Because, not to cut, but later on, hip hop, corporate America, the industry comes in, swoops in, grabs rappers, and kind of divides and conquers the culture and divides the elements again.
It's very true.
And we've been all, ever since, trying to hold it together.
Very true. Wow, you definitely see it clearly. Yeah, so at least, our attempt, not that we could predict everything, we were just trying to represent it for what it was based on that initial idea I had. I wanted to show this was all one thing, and I had this idea to make a film. Charlie was like, great idea, let's make this film.
All right.
We made that film, and it kind of carved a kind of an understanding of what the culture actually is. And Wild Style does that, and it was just an incredible blessing. And then the way it spread around the world was something I could not have predicted, that people of other languages would become. Yeah, man, that blew my mind. Because some of the first tours to Europe we did. The first tour to Europe, which was France primarily,
Paris,
with about 20 or 30 of us. Yes,
I remember you saying
we did that, and that they went crazy. That's still the second biggest market for hip hop in the world.
Yeah.
And then we went to Japan the following year, 83, about 30 of us, Rocksteady crew, rappers, DJ, whole shit.
This is 88?
83.
83? Okay.
83 when we go to Europe in 82. We go to Japan in 83.
Yeah, Crazy Legs told us about that.
Yeah, Crazy. That was an incredible trip. And that plants the seeds, but we had no idea it was going to take like it did. It's still remarkable to this day.
Yeah,
like,
hip-hop is global.
Yeah, global in every kind of way you can imagine. So,
and sometimes represented even better in other countries.
That's so true.
Yeah.
But what I find that I like is when you go to places where people are, it's like a level of poverty that, especially in New York, you don't see anymore.
That's what it is.
And these people, when you see the way it's applied and the way they adopt it, it's like it reminds me of where it came from and how the Bronx was really bombed out. It was the most like horrific ghetto on the planet because it was a poster child. And from that,
We talking about Bronx.
the way the Bronx looked in the 70s.
When I'm researching you, that's when I found out that it was actual landlords that was burning down their property.
Yeah, a lot of the apartment buildings.
I didn't know that.
That's a big part that happened.
Yeah.
It was a combination of things with
They
people.
called it the burnt down Bronx. But I didn't know that it was self-inflicted.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know that. Like,
a lot of it was
like,
because
it was people who own property.
What it was they can get more and get out with the insurance money.
Yeah, I did not know that. That was crazy.
Was huge in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And it was rampant. They had people that was just like, that's why there was whole blocks in the South Bronx with maybe 1 or 2 buildings left. It was just rubble. It was unbelievable. It looked like literally like bombs had been dropped. There's a famous, I talk about in my book,
right.
In the 77, in the 77 World Series, when the Yankees is playing.
1977?
77, Reggie Jackson, that whole shit. I remember watching that shit.
I was born that year.
You could see 2 or 3 fires glowing not far
from Yankee Stadium. Wow.
You go on YouTube and watch that.
Wow.
That's how the Bronx was burning for real, and the gangs come out of that. Because it was like, come on, it was nuts. It was like
I always had
the
family
Warriors
in the Bronx, and that was always like our little, like, joke, like, oh, the burnt down Bronx. But we didn't know that.
Yeah,
potentially.
It was primarily the South Bronx. I want to point out.
Yes.
That was really devastated most.
For us from Queens, the Bronx was the Bronx. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. I'm from Brooklyn. I didn't really know all of that later. Like years later, you know what I mean?
And this is where hip hop is born out of. Like, did you watch the Rebel Kings documentary? I thought that was so amazing.
You were so on point.
You said largely. Why did you say largely and not totally?
What,
in terms of hip hop coming out of those ashes.
Yeah.
Oh, because the origins of hip hop, or what leads to hip hop.
This is deep.
A lot of people, no question is, look, and people are entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
But this is what happened.
Tell us.
This is what happened.
Tell us from the old, yes.
There were DJs, and wait, before I go, I'm gonna run this down. It's incredible
documentary. You want a shot? Do you want a shot? You want a shot or something?
Let's wait for quick time.
Okay. Because I feel like you getting in here.
Listen, I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I wanted to get on here and shit.
I'm sitting down, like, although I'm not, listen, I am in school right now.
Man,
it's your face. You know what? I can tell you want it.
No, this is a good one that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
Because
I'm looking at
obviously there's a lot of different stories.
Yes, there is.
About the Jamaica connection and whatever, and the dance hall. I'm deep into that since the 70s as well. Growing up in Brooklyn, I'm going to, hearing all them early dance hall records. But there were DJs that damn near go back to the late 60s that were mobile DJs. They wasn't cutting or scratching, but they was mixing one record to the other. That was the big innovation. Everybody else had a record player going back, 70s going further back. You put 4 or 5 45s and the arm would swing, drop a record, it would play. And that's how people listen to music.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And they were considered DJs.
What?
They were considered DJs?
No.
Okay.
You were just playing records.
Okay, just playing records.
Yeah.
Now, the idea of the DJ, what is that short for?
Disc jockey.
Thank you.
Okay.
Who was the disc jockey in those time frames? Thank you. This is a real inspiration for what the dance hall DJs, that sound system scene did in Jamaica, and what these early DJs were doing here. They were emulating the black radio DJs, because they was the ones talking kind of slick.
So doing the talking over.
You had a little job talk, hip slang. There was Jocko, who was out of Philly in New York, had a little slick shit, kind of rhyming. When you look at the history going down to the scene in Memphis, Stax Records, Pee Wee Markham, he was on the radio.
Wow.
Sly Stone, he was on the radio. That's how he built his name in San Francisco. So the big inspiration on the idea of a DJ is the disc jockey on the radio.
Right.
They were the ones who played the music, had the flavor, talked that slick shit, sound fly, and play the records you wanted to hear. That's really who the DJs were inspired by, because it's like, oh, this is like the radio. He's playing, and the beginning of people getting on the mic were like emulating what the radio
and
guys did.
transitioning the records by talking over them and doing the
just
transition,
really
right.
bigging up who the DJ was and shouting him out and promoting him. That was what the original foundation was.
Because even in hip hop, the DJ was the man way before.
Thank you.
Okay.
The DJ was the man. He had the
that
system.
is-
He brought the music
That's the
out.
They wanted to be
foundation.
DJs. They didn't want to be rappers.
Better believe it.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
that was 100%, and that was a huge scene that developed, like through the '70s. Like Herc will tell you, Pete DJ Jones, the original Grandmaster Flowers, my boy. There was a list of these cats. Queens had people like the Disco Twins, you know, the Infinity Machine. My boy Hassan and Ron Lawrence. Ron Amin-Ra, who was one of the, the hitman, man, he's doing all them cool, like, AI clips now, with people talking about hip hop, and he takes the photos and make them move a little bit.
Yeah.
They made a documentary a little over 10 years ago called Founding Fathers. That details, it was on YouTube for a bunch of time. It's about to be on Tubi.
Okay.
And the Founding Fathers really interviews and talks about this era of the game. And these DJs.
When we say founding fathers, I just want to reiterate that we're talking about the founding fathers of hip hop, correct?
Well, that's what it implies, but it's really like, it doesn't say that in the title, but you're 100% right.
Okay.
But in terms of what led to that, boom. What Herc did, once again, is genius, because he took that structure of the DJs that was mad popular all over the city, and then he brought something new to the table with the
breaks?
Playing the breaks, picking up, doing that like needle drop type of technique, and Flash and them will tell you they got what he was trying to do. It was incredible, but they couldn't catch the beat all the time. And Flash went and did the research to figure out what turntable. But it was the research. But he did research with every turntable until he found out that the Technique 1200 was the one that had the direct drive.
Right, it wasn't belt drive.
And then so the other ones, there was a drag before you got to the beat.
Yeah.
So we have Flash on here.
Flash was amazing on here.
He's
We
such
had
a
Cass
genius.
on here.
Yeah, a Grandmaster. Yeah,
we
I saw
had
that.
Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs on here.
Yes, I seen that.
And I feel like all of them do say they credit Herc.
Yeah, they credit him for what becomes hip hop, but just that a lot of them may not know. Flash will tell you about Pete, DJ Jones, and the DJs that made you want to be a DJ. It was a thing. I think, was it Herc on here or maybe Flash told a story?
We would love to have Herc on here.
We never had.
Not Herc, I meant to say Kaz.
Kaz was on here.
Or Flash told a story about, if I'm not mistaken, when he went to battle, and soon as Pete DJ Jones turned his system on, he was like, yo, it's time to pack up and go. Because these dudes not just was nice with the records, but they knew how to put the systems together. It took bread.
Right.
And you had to have some real technical knowledge to get
that was
the best
gatekeeping
sound.
in these eras. Like, you had to be able to have access to this equipment or a studio or whatever. Right.
As you know, the story goes, the blackout of '77, when cats got their looting on, a lot of Bronx cats got access to equipment. Because let's be real, the Bronx was the poorest borough in the city at that time. It took some money. A lot of times you hear stories about cats that had big sound systems in Queens or whatever. Their parents spent $2, $3, $4, $5K.
Queens.
That's a lot of money back then.
But then after the black, a bunch of DJs
That's what's incredible. When Kaz and them told a story, a lot of cats went to where the entertainment electronic stores was and got busy, got mixes, got real stuff for the first time, and so that...
I was born in '77. I helped that shit.
Look at you.
It was me. It was my magic.
Incredible. So those are some of the incredible stories about how it really got built. But definitely what Herc did was take it in another direction. Also, the other thing that's interesting about those DJs that I mentioned, the Flowers and the Pete DJ Jones, there were clubs that came up in Manhattan where promoters would rent out like a restaurant. And they would take the chairs out and they would promote that as a party. For people coming from the boroughs...
Not the grill, because I heard you talking...
No, this is way before the grill. This is like Nell Gwynn's.
Okay.
I didn't go to these places. I'm still a shorty, but I'm well aware of
Studio
what was
54
going on.
type shit?
Way before all of that. It's
Studio
places...
54 was a legit club.
These was legit clubs too, but this is what, once again, turned the heat up on this whole idea of DJ. The mobile DJs go from playing in the streets to getting hired by these promoters. Their names are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They're the ones that's really developing this whole disco thing. Frankie Crocker.
So this is pre-disco. You're saying this is what how disco comes in.
This is what makes it, and Frankie Crocker doesn't get enough credit. I go into him deep in my memoir because when he took over BLS FM, most black people, or most people, listen to their music on AM. When Frankie Crocker takes control of BLS, it's stereo for the first time. In fact, when it was a big thing when you would hear that like they would do the station ID, they would go WBLS. It would go from left speaker back to right. People would be like, oh my God, that's next level.
Yeah.
And that made people want to go and get stereo systems because most people, it wasn't about stereo.
Right.
And so Frankie Crocker became the dominant DJ. His style was more smooth. He had like a suave kind of vibe. He drove a Rolls Royce, you know. He was like some player, suave, sophisticated. But he followed the DJs, these mobile DJs that I'm talking about, and he'd be at these parties. If he saw the DJ broke some record and the crowd went crazy, Frankie would put that record on BLS. And he broke a lot of the acts that became the big acts in disco. He was super duper dominant. He doesn't get enough props for how influential he was, because I'm listening, then I'm hearing him promote the parties of these DJs. Next thing you know, the records that he's breaking become hit records, you know what I'm saying? The records that are the foundations of disco. Frankie broke most of those records. He would interview the artists on the radio. He was Frankie Hollywood Crocker. That was his whole thing. He was real smooth, real fly, influential. And so with his energy and everything I'm telling you, that takes it over the top. Then we get Studio 54. Then we got high-end clubs, because now it's a thing.
You did cocaine in the Studio 54?
One more time?
You never did cocaine in the Studio 54?
I didn't go to Studio 54, but that was some shit where they invented, I'm still a shorty kind of sort of, I ain't really deep in the mix yet, but they would pick you. That's where that whole velvet rope thing started. And they would diss a lot of people. I went up there once just to watch it go on, because it was obscene. People would be crying, oh, please.
They can't get in?
Man, listen, it was the biggest thing in the media to get up in there to get picked. That's where the whole rope thing started.
Rick James?
When my shit got popping and the Mud Club did the reverse, instead of the velvet rope, the Mud Club had a little chain outside, and when me and Jean-Michel rolled up, they'd be like, oh, Freddy, Jean, come right on in. You know, we had 5 or 6 cats with us. So that was our scene, which was a change from the whole bougie Studio 54. But that was, Studio 54 was huge.
But it was like, yo, man, you know, Fab and they downtown. They got the white girls. Yeah.
They were. That's all that was there. I mean, you know, we was equal opportunity. You know, we was we wasn't trying to discriminate.
Because
you asked about one white girl, and then you asked about the other white girl.
No. This is my friend Sonny D over there, right? I thought he's a white people whisperer.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Like at first I thought it was embarrassing.
He likes the ski resorts.
And then I thought about it. I was like, yo, these white people, like, as soon as he talks, they let their guard down around him. Like, he's no, I'm just being honest. He is a white person whisperer. He can relate. I don't think he can relate to other Haitians, but he can relate to.
That's crazy.
Do you think you're a white people whisperer? Like,
well, you know, at that time, that's mostly who was on the downtown scene. And, you know, it was a crowd that was very open. That's the thing. Everybody in New York, you know, New York was really polarized back in the days. Like if you know, cast in different neighborhoods, they didn't really intersect.
Like segregated in that way.
Yeah, it was more or less, it was very segregated.
The
you know, you could roll through different neighborhoods. It was a fight. Like, you know, even when people like me, when we were shorties going through Brownsville, cats would check you. What's up? You had to get busy on some knuckle shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't know about the 52 block for real. You know what I'm saying? You had to know how to handle yourself. your shit. And that's New York, you know?
Right.
And so certain neighborhoods where you had tough, you know, cats would get busy.
Right.
And so that was a dynamic. But on the downtown scene, it was very open. People was on some arty shit. It was different. It was so even though me, Jean, a few other brothers were among the few people of color, the crowd, all of them was like looked at as outcasts as well. You know, punk rock niggas, shaved heads.
Was CBGB popping at that time?
CBGBs was popping. I'm up in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm making moves through all of them spots.
And that's one of the first venues that
was for the punk rock.
Hip-hop.
Yeah,
but hip hop was one of the first spots
but be
that
clear.
they allowed hip hop to perform in there.
Okay, I missed that part. But
Well, it wasn't like Beasties and them like all up in there.
well, the Beasties, yeah, they wasn't doing anything. I was around the Beasties when they came up. Beastie Boys, you know what I'm saying? They was definitely had that punk rock energy. They would put
Originally they were a punk rock group, I think.
Well, they had a punk rock thing. They had a punk rock attitude, but they was mixing hip hop with it. Their first record that I loved, blew up, was called Cookie Puss, which probably never came out. Where they recorded this TV commercial for Carvel ice cream, and they just sampled this shit and made a wild, crazy, goofy record. It was a lot of fun, but it had a punk sensibility. But they was rapping, and that's a part of Russell's genius, seeing these white cats and thought this could work. You know, Rick Rubin stepped in to work with them, and that shit blew up way beyond. But we was all hanging in that same downtown scene at that time. Because some of the clubs that we frequented, as different rap records are beginning to come out, Sugar Hill, other artists doing things, you know, Houdini and whatever, the downtown clubs were spinning them. You know what I mean? They was beginning to get into that because the things we were doing, like I curated an exhibit at the Mud Club, the same club I'm talking, and we did a show. Keith Haring had put me on. He said, yo, the owner of the club wants you to curate a show.
Which is a flex. Keith Haring is a flex right now, too.
Yeah, that's my dad. He was a part of the whole team at that time. And he said, the owner, Keith is just starting to come up, and we were super tight. And he asked me to curate a show, which I did, called Beyond Words. And I included a lot of these other graffiti artists I'm talking about, Jean-Michel, Futura, Crash Days, a few other people, to show that we moving into this scene. And the dude knew I was connected to this rap thing, which is starting to bubble. He said, yo, can you get some of them groups? So I got like Bam and Cold Crush and Busy. All of them came down to perform at the opening. And that was a lot of people's first experience with hip-hop culture on that downtown scene.
Wow.
Jean-Michel was there, and they was just, yo, this is dope. They felt it beyond expectation. And then more and more people began to mess with it. And so that became a place where we began to do our thing, so to speak, and people were open to this new thing coming on. There's a venue for the
Still not called hip-hop yet.
Nah, not totally yet.
When do you hear it called hip hop? Like, what is your...
So what happens is, oh boy, and I elaborate thoroughly in my memoir.
The book, right.
There was no name for it officially. And looking at new wave and punk rock, those scenes were named, and you could know the styles of the different groups, like the Sex Pistols, Clash, and groups like that. The Dead Boys were punk rock, but then new wave were like Blondie, Talking Heads, B-52. So, but these scenes were clearly defined, and they were being written about and further defined and explained. And working on Wild Style, as we were coming towards the end and going into post-production, I'm like, Charlie, what are we gonna call it? We did an event. There were two events it was an event that we did, which was because, you know, I used to spit on the mic a little something, and we come together. It was the photos of Henry Chalfant and Martha Cooper. Those were the first official graffiti documentarians. They would photograph the stuff. The Rocksteady crew, a DJ from my block in Brooklyn, DJ Spy. I got on the mic, and another cat that I brought into the scene named Ramel Z. And this event, we were calling it Graffiti Rock. Wow. But Charlie and I were like, well, that was a term we had used. We were like, what are we gonna call it? So every other rapper at the time, many rappers would, in between rapping, they would, and I used to consider it an opportunity to catch your breath and think of your next rhyme. They would go to the hip, the hop, hippy dibby, jibby dibby, you know, stop, you don't stop. That was a part of the a break in between your rhymes, you throw your hands in the air, different things that a lot of the foundation rappers would do. I told Charlie, I think we should use this term to define the whole scene because the scene we were trying to showcase in the film was the painting, was the music, the DJs, and the dancing. And a lot of people were saying it. And so we helped push that into the mix as a way to describe what the movie was about. Because once again, seeing how punk and new wave were written about, we were anticipating something similar, being that I had the instinct to connect with people that were big supporters of us, that were the key principal people in that scene.
Right.
And so that's essentially how that began.
So I
helped nudge that into place because to promote the film, the first real descriptions, nobody was writing about this as a culture.
Right.
And in the promotion of Wild Style, this is the beginning of it being seen as this broad picture, as you know. Together,
right.
The culture, the elements, 4, 5, whatever people determine, and this is what it's called. Because it was, so it's more organic. It's not like, hey, I named, which no, it was a name and a word, a phrase that was a part of the culture. I like to consider, I just helped nudge it into place because we needed to tell the story, promote the film and what the film was about. And Wild Style was the beginning of that. The initial stories were in the Village Voice and downtown publications. The first time it was used in print, this cat, Michael Holman, who, once again, he did a TV show early, but the goofy cornball suits that he had to deal with didn't allow it to go. It was syndicated, and it was called Graffiti Rock. You've probably seen clips of it online where you see like Kumo D and running them perform. It was, and he's the host on it. He had the gazelles on. You know, he was somebody that I put on, and he dived right in. He would manage the New York City Breakers. They were like the rivals to the Rocksteady crew. In an interview in an article in a downtown paper called the East Village Eye, does a story. I had gotten his ear and let him know, listen, we're gonna call it all this. We're gonna be beginning to promote the movie. This whole special section in East Village Eye was like several articles. The first time this had ever happened about different aspects of the culture. Futura and Lee had art that was included in that issue. And Michael Holman does an interview with Bambaataa and uses that term for the first time in print.
Bambaataa says it, because that's what I've...
No, well, Michael is talking. Michael brings it back. In fact, to make it legit, to make me feel like I was on the right track, I called Bam. I said, Bam, I'm thinking that to promote the movie, we're thinking of using it. Bam said, yes, I totally agree. So he agreed. Because we like, look, we want to call it something. On no flyer that you see, and the flyers are in collections everywhere, no flyer called it. It was no name.
Right.
They would just promote who was rapping, who the DJ was. You know those classic flyers by Phase 2 and Buddy Esquire and so many others. So we were like, what are we gonna do? And so that's how we help.
So we kind of saying that you came up with the term hip hop.
No. I didn't come up with it. It was being used. Rappers was
right, because Cass told us, I forget who he said was saying it because they were going to the army.
Yeah, okay, I tell that story great. And there's another component where Flash says a girl he was dating back then, it was her brother going into the army. Flash says that she...
that story or Cass said that story?
Cass, no, I heard Cass.
Tell the story.
But Flash just adds a little to it.
Okay.
It was this girl's brother, and she was at the party, and she started it first. Then Cowboy from the Furious
that's
gets
exactly,
on, and they both is just teasing him. Hip hop, you know, like the way they would do the marching drill sergeant type of thing. And Keith Cowboy really got it going first, and then they say that Love Bug started utilizing it, you know, Love Bug Starsky, the original original Starsky, and then it became a thing where that was a thing you would hear often in between your rhymes, you know, something you could say, and then you think of what you gonna spit next. That's how the term became popular.
So it was already there. You just
that's what I'm saying.
Extracted from that.
I just said let's use that because it seems like everybody's like. When people would talk about, yo, I was at this jam, and I remember people would say, what kind of music? Because you still had DJs that just played music. And they'd be, no, it wasn't just like music. It was one of them hibbity hop joints. And you would know, oh, okay, because it would be typically you would hear it at any party where people was rapping often. Somebody would do that oftentimes.
Right.
So it became like a synonymous way to describe the kind of party it was.
Makes sense.
Which was different than people that was just trying to be a disco type DJ, which was cool, but everybody wasn't with that or had somebody that would get on the mic and do that. That wasn't a thing with every DJ. But the Bronx cats, they made that a thing, and it became the thing. You know?
So ballpark figure real quick. How many white girls you think Basquiat smashed?
Oh man!
I mean, you know, downtown. This is downtown.
I mean, you know, was he counting? That's so funny. I don't kiss and tell.
Because I ain't gonna lie. The culture, to see the culture, man. Like,
well, listen. Speaking of, I'm sorry for cutting you, but speaking of Jean-Michel,
please.
You may not know he dated
Madonna, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
For a hot minute.
Yeah, that was hard. That was hard. Haitian niggas date Madonna.
John was Haitian Puerto Rican.
What?
Yeah, his mother's John's Haitian Puerto Rican.
Yo, he's Haitian Puerto Rican?
He's Haitian Puerto Rican. His father's Haitian.
Sonny N.O.R.E. What the fuck?
His mom's Puerto Rican.
Latino.
Yo.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I got Basquiat.
And so John spoke, he could speak a little Spanish and a little Creole.
Yeah, that was. Oh, he's knocking everything down. Let's make some noise.
Yes.
Yeah. So I like Madonna, man. I know we touched on her a little bit. But, Madonna is like, I don't want to say the person that's invited to the cookout. I think she's actually bringing ingredients to the cookout.
No question.
Like she's like bringing, she's actually bringing her own version of sweet potatoes.
That's a great description. That's a great description.
Not only she's invited, she's in the kitchen, like helping prepare. Like
Madonna has several kids. And a couple of her kids, which she's raised for quite a while now, they're African.
Yeah, African, more than us.
Yeah, they was
more than me and you. Them niggas is Zimbabwe.
No, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
100%.
My bad, I ain't said niggas. I ain't mean to do that. I ain't mean to say nigga. I'm trying not to say nigga. Okay.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Kane and Madonna, he had the leopard sit on.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was the sex book.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was wild. I remember when that came out.
Flowers, man.
That was crazy.
Yo, listen, our show is about giving people flowers where they can smell them.
Oh, man.
We've been waiting
so they can tell them.
I'm so happy to be here with y'all, man.
And we want to give you your flowers face to face, man. Snoop Dogg said it's better than a Grammy because it comes from his people. And we your people. And we want to, let me just tell you something, man.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate that.
Nah, listen to me. Let me tell you something, man.
We've been waiting to give you this.
We've been waiting for 10 years.
And congratulations on 10 years. Congratulations.
But let me just tell you something, man. Like, you made media fly, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people, when you look at people in the hood, they wanted to be the artist. They wanted to be the basketball player. They wanted to be the, even hockey player, football player, whatever.
Correct.
They wanted to be an athlete or they wanted to be the artist. When you look at you and your career, you interviewed those people, you highlighted those people, you showlighted that, this is what you do, but this is the rewards of it. And
you were just as cool or cooler than the people you interviewed with.
And for back then, and you look at media now and
yes, wow.
Look, all of us are walking in your footsteps.
Absolutely.
Man.
Every last one of us. If you look at your favorite artist has now turned into media, bro. And
so crazy.
You were doing that shit 25 years ago, bro.
Shit. 30
years ago?
30 plus.
30 plus?
Yeah.
Man, let's make some fucking money. And we're all following your footsteps, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much. Well, you're doing an excellent job, I want to say. You and DJ EFN.
That's right, yeah. And he pronounces your name correct.
Well, he schooled me. I'm like, I thought it was EFN. He was like, no, it's EFN. I'm like, my bad.
So did you ever think, because honestly, right, it was Ralph McDaniels.
Yes, you better believe it. Video Music Box, baby. Yes, I was locked in.
And this is my friend. This, and he always tells us sometimes, he said, you know, New York, you guys were cocky, right? And I kind of don't realize it.
He's talking about me.
Yeah, I'm talking about him, yeah.
Because I'm coming from the perspective of someone
so
growing
what
up
I
here in
didn't
South
realize,
Florida.
Yeah, but you're well researched. You know a lot of history. I can see.
So let me break it down. So what I didn't realize is when we had a show like Ralph McDaniel, which is Video Music Box.
Yes.
It was on Channel 9 or
Still
Channel 12.
comes on in New York cable.
Yes,
on Saturdays, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, which is great.
So what I didn't know, and you said it to me, you said it to me very, very mean.
I didn't say it.
But you did say it to me. And you were like, yo, you know, we saw Video Music Box, but we had to see it on VHS.
Wow.
We would get
And what I
Oh my
didn't
God, I love
realize
that
how
so much.
spoiled we were as New Yorkers, right? So let me make my point and then I'm gonna throw it to you.
Please.
So I'm just talking about it. I'm like, damn, you know, it only came on a certain channel.
UHF initially, which was some old
and
other...
a certain cable, right?
Yes.
On a certain cable station. And then we had the rest of the world that was VHS, which he just asked you to sign.
Yeah.
So these tapes were circulating, right? And us in New York, we're so spoiled. We don't even know how special this is because this is on our public access channel. This is
You
where...
don't gotta look at me like that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm looking at the world. I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at the world. But this is where Kermit the Frog comes on. This is not the same. This is not HBO or Cinemax where you can see some titties or something. No, this is the public. So I didn't realize how spoiled we was. And you said it to me one day. I swear to God, you yelled at me, and I was like, "Damn, he's right." Right? It was very mean to me. But you're my friend. All right. But now here comes MTV.
Yes. Ooh.
MTV is a rock and roll station.
Essentially.
MTV, I remember, I'm old enough to say, fuck y'all, but I'm old enough to say, you had a choice at one point. You can say, I want HBO on my cable, I want Showtime, I want Cinemax, and then you can say, I want MTV.
Right.
At first, when MTV first came on the cable network in New York City, I cannot speak for anywhere else. Most people said no.
Right, because it wasn't playing.
It wasn't for us.
It wasn't initially.
If we would take off our cable to access the public access channel, because that wasn't on, that was on local cable. That's the cable that comes with your apartment already.
Correct.
Right.
So the cable that you pay for, you don't get Ralph McDaniel. So you had to unplug that.
Wow.
Then MTV drops. And then we get a show called
MTV Rap.
MTV motherfucking Rap.
Yeah.
And this is real. This is real.
Thank you.
Because this is real. Because this is me. I made my life do this. And then, like, you know, I had cousins in Seattle. I had cousins in Florida.
Okay.
I had cousins in South Carolina, North Carolina. So many places that I never could talk hip hop to. Maybe they got it, but by the time they got it, it was 3 months later, and I was already on to another act or another such and such. Your MTV Raps was the first time I got to speak to people in real time.
That's
Meaning,
so deep.
I saw Tupac's new video the same time
People
my cousin...
the cousins saw it, so y'all could talk about it.
So we could talk about it in real time.
Wow. Deep.
That was like the first... So this is a deep question. One, do you know how many lives you fucking changed?
Wow. You know, it's a humbling feeling and when you realize it. And I just want to say, I mean, look, MTV at the time when it hit the incredible stretch, it wasn't a long stretch, but it was a pivotal stretch.
Impactful.
It was a pivotal stretch for incredible artists emerging. Your first time seeing artists that define a whole host of spaces. You saw them first, and I'm super honored that they stood next to me, and I kind of was the first time you saw X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And you think they reached out to you to host the show because of Wild Style or because
that was a part of it.
Okay.
So there was a cat that I knew initially named Peter Doherty, who was on the downtown scene. He knew the moves I was making. He was at the Mud Club show I told you about. He was a real underground music aficionado. And he got a job to be a producer at MTV early on. So he would get tickets to a rock concert. I mean, he took me to see like Judas Priest, and he actually got me to see the Jackson 5 when they was on tour. So his name was Peter Doherty, and Peter knew what was going on. He was close enough to know this shit is bubbling. There was a few records had come out by this point that have gone gold. Some Run DMC shit and some Houdini and, you know, things
Curtis Blow had gone.
Curtis Blow, exactly. Things are beginning to bubble. And he was in their ear to do a show. He used to mention it to me. I used to always be like, get out of here, man. Boom, boom, boom. Then he linked up with another kid at MTV. His name was Ted Demi.
That's my man.
And Ted,
God bless the dad.
yes, indeed.
God bless the dad.
And me and Ted became like super tight. He was the nephew of the Oscar award-winning director Jonathan Demme, who I became tight with later.
Wow.
Ted was a white kid from Long Island, grew up loving hip hop, really got it down pat. Peter had seen the development, he was tapped in. They lobbied and campaigned to get it popping. And Peter was like, he's the guy that should host it. I was like, what? He's the guy that's in the Rapture video. There's this film, Wild Style, he's in. He's connected, he's downtown. And so Peter was like, kept telling me.
It was their idea?
It was Peter's idea and got with Ted Demme. They were producers on the channel.
Wow.
They wanted to do a show. Also, I must give props to a French chick, a black French woman named Sophie Bromley that had been in New York early on, hanging in the mix, taking pictures of the very early stuff, going to the Fever, hooking up with, you know, Bambaataa, really snapping. She goes back to Europe, and MTV Europe actually does a show called Yo First.
Oh, wow.
And Sophie hosts that for about a year or so. You can go on YouTube and see clips. Real attractive sister. And she got friendly with mad people, so she knew so many people. Her vibe was just incredible. So they did that for about a year. Meanwhile, Peter's like, this is where it's born. This needs to happen here. And they were lobbying other executives. We got to do this. Look, like and boom, boom, boom. MTV was mirroring the way, quote unquote, pop radio was, which pretty much was all white. That was the radio was very segregated in most places.
Wow.
So MTV was just mirroring what radio was. That was what they were basically doing. But these producers pushed. And Peter was like pitching me to be the host. And then he said, man, like we actually did a screen test. He said, if he knew I'm creative and I'm getting busy, he said, man, how would you want to do this if we ever did get to do it? I was like, well, you know, most of those VJs, you see them on for 2-3 hours or whatever with some crazy, goofy shit going on the green screen behind them. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do that. That's whack. I said, I would feel more comfortable if I was in the street where artists is making the music, in their basement, you know, on the corner. I'd be more comfortable there. And he said, okay, boom. That's why we did the little screen test where I kind of fake introduced the Run DMC, LL Cool J video. That was this little screen test. Next thing I know, within a couple of weeks, we was shooting the first episode, and they bugged out and thought that the Nielsen ratings must have bugged out because it was the highest rated show that had that had ever been on the channel. It was insane. It was wild. So, that shit took off like a rocket, B. You know, at first it was a half hour, and then we went to an hour, and then they asked me after about a year, did I want to host a daily version? And I used to watch a lot of MTV waiting to see a Michael Jackson video, waiting for Prince's Doves Cry or the few things you really wanted to see. And then you'd be looking at these VJs, I felt, be like, yo, you corny motherfucker, who are you? You know, play my shit, you know. I mean, I said, man, I don't want to be overexposed, you know what I'm saying? So they asked me if I wanted to do the weekend. I said, nah, that's cool. And so Ted knew Ed Lover, and Peter knew Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre was a producer. He produced a couple of records on Def Jam real early on. Right. Can't remember the name of it now, but it was some shit that had some 808 bass. It was crazy. And they put them together as the weekly crew, like kind of like in a clubhouse, like Abbott and Costello.
The weekly or weekend?
Weekly, and I did the weekend.
They were in studio.
It was in studio.
Right.
And I was like running around, mostly out here, there, traveling. And that's what I was really fascinated with because I'm mad curious anyway. So as I hear now, it's beginning to bubble in other places. I'm like, what are they making? Like the first time Yo MTV Raps traveled, it was to Miami to cover Luke Skywalker and the 2 Live Crew.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Miami, blah, blah, blah.
Nah, it was crazy. You know, this was before South Beach got sexy. It was like a retirement community, if you remember, the older folks sitting out in folding chairs. And but we went to Liberty City, and I got to hang with Luke, and he broke down what they were doing. I understood then. Oh, this is just a lot of fun because I'm into lyrics. You know, I want bars and shit like that.
Was it in the booty shaker?
Once I saw how they get down.
Okay.
But 2 Live Crew was spin. They was just spin that shit. But they was spin.
Niggas ain't thinking about 2 Live Crew lyrics.
Spit.
I felt like they was spin, but they was from the raunchy strip club shit.
New York.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so here we go. That's 100% what they were doing.
These niggas got it.
But I realized, like, this is a whole different thing. And it was fascinating to be able to showcase it and then to go to other cities. That was the biggest, most exciting thing for me. To go to Houston, interview the Ghetto Boys when Mind Playing Tricks was the hottest record. You know, to be in San Francisco with Digital Underground when, you know, the Humpty Hump and all that just broke out.
Was just the hanger-on.
When I first interviewed, they hadn't even put him in the mix yet.
Wow.
But then soon later, he would be in the mix, and then I would interview him. The first interview I did with Tupac was when they were filming above the, oh God.
Not above the rim.
No, not above the rim. Oh,
Juice?
Juice, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
bang.
Yeah.
And we did something special because I'm in Juice. I make a cameo with Juice at the DJ scene. We filmed that interview and held it several months until the film was ready so we could drop the special episode, which we filmed on the set to help to promote that film. And that was just incredible stuff. So a lot of artists like Pac, like Dre, Snoop, oh man, a long list of practically everybody super important made their television debut with me on Yo MTV Rap. So it was real special.
And that was a catalyst to spread hip hop everywhere and inspire everybody.
Oh, this is the thing I've been meaning to say.
Okay.
The VHS tape thing is so special to me. People, later, Yo MTV Raps was one of the only shows MTV produced because MTV was franchised out in about 6 or 7 other countries. It was MTV Europe, Brazil, Asia, here, there. Our show was the only show that was in all those other markets. But particularly in Europe, like the first time I went to Africa, I went to Nigeria, and I met some young Nigerians from affluent families, and they all recognized me. I'm like, what the hell's going on? How do you guys, you get it? Oh, we have the satellite dish. This is when satellite dishes was 12, 15 feet diameter. I said, yes, we have a dish, which made me know, like, their people had paper, but they were able to pick up the European feed, and they were recording on VHS and sharing it with their friends.
Like mixtapes,
Just like mixtapes. So sometimes I'll meet somebody, brother would be just so moved to tell me they had a relative or somebody would send them tapes of Yo MTV Raps, and that's how they got tapped into the culture. That's mind-blowing.
It's fucking
mind-blowing.
fantastic.
So that was, like you said, going viral back then.
Yeah, man.
But the VHS tape and the cassette tape were critical to the culture.
Absolutely.
I remember speaking to Luke even, this is pre-DVD. Luke was putting out them videos and them wild parties and them...
Oh, the Luke Peep Show?
The Peep Show, yes. So it'd be some awkward... We'd be like, oh my God. Luke was X-rated, but he was a brilliant businessman.
We got to talk about when you went to Compton.
Well, once again, so we had interviewed Eazy-E on the show a few times with We Want Easy, and they were great videos.
Eazy came out before NWA.
It was Eazy-E first.
Yeah, he was first.
A lot of people don't know that.
They had been in the lab working on stuff, but I think the story goes, it might have been Dre and them that was like, yo, Eazy, you should rap, because Eazy was bankrolling what they were doing. He was getting money on the street. And
it was his label, Ruthless was his label.
Yeah, exactly. So he was working on putting that together. And so they got Eazy to actually came out first. And it worked, right? So it was one of the early videos that we had. I remember when the Yo MTV Raps takes off. So after, a month or so, period of time, couple of months, we'd go out to LA. You know, Ted was like, listen, Easy's got this new group. We're gonna go out there and do a show with him in LA.
When you say Ted, we're talking about Ted Demme.
Ted Demme, talking about Ted Demme. So I'm like, okay, Easy was incredible. His videos were great, well produced. A good friend of mine named Kevin Swain was the director, a brother from Cali, who's produced a million things. But back then, he was cutting his teeth on music videos, as I was. And so we go out there to do this show with them. So we're in a new town now. We're like, okay, because Ted, we were in sync. We got to do something interesting because we were conscious of wanting to show the rest of the country this new group, this new area where I had been out in LA, but mostly West Hollywood, because I had had a big exhibit a couple of years prior at a really important contemporary gallery. Jean-Michel had been out there a year or two early showing with Gagosian. So Jean was like, you know, telling me about what it was like in LA, and then I got my chance. But now we're dealing with some hood shit, which I knew nothing about. So the night before we go out to do the NWA interview, Ted calls me in my room. He says, listen, everything is set up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rent a truck, a flatbed truck.
Oh, it was a flatbed? I thought it was a pickup. It was a flatbed?
Yeah, it was like a big flatbed, a big truck. It had like, you know, rails around and shit. We could like, it was like a hayride type of thing without any hay. We're gonna drive around, we're gonna meet with Easy, we're gonna meet here in Compton, we're gonna learn a little bit about Compton, then we're gonna go to the swap meet where they get their little street gear and whatever, and then we're gonna ride out to Venice Beach. So I'm like, wow, we're gonna show people different spots in LA. We meet at the Welcome to Compton sign, and we tape the first episode. This is where I meet the group for the first time. It's now Cube, it's Ren, it's Yella, you know, it's the whole thing, and a bunch of other cats, including the DOC. And the funny story I like to tell is I'm standing there, and some cats roll up in a 64 or whatever. Once again, and the night before Ted said, oh yeah, don't wear nothing black, don't wear nothing red, or don't wear nothing
black,
blue.
Or blue, yeah.
We knew nothing about that, so we in black. I didn't understand all this gang culture at that particular point in time. Right. So and when we get out there, NWA is in all black, so I'm like, okay, yeah, this is, you know, we all good. Right. And I'm standing there, and a car rolls up. It's like some cats in a 64, like Impala, and they kind of recognize me. So they looking at me, and I go like, hey, what's up? And Cube comes over to me and says, yo, Fab, like, I just gotta tell you, man, out here, if you do the peace sign like that, that's a gang sign. And I was like, oh. He says, so you have to do it this way. I was like, okay.
And which way you did it? You did it this way?
Just like,
open-handed.
You know, cats pulled up.
Oh, so you gotta do it this way, he said?
He said this way, because that was some set.
It does look like a gang.
Yeah.
Damn.
I ain't know nothing, but it was the first time hearing any of this and not understanding how ill it is or what that culture is really all about. And that was the introduction, which then turns out to be a lot of people's favorite show, because they get introduced to this group. We drive around. I always remember something that stuck with me, because in between segments, Cube kept asking me, yo, Fab, I hadn't even listened to the record yet, by the way, too, keep in mind. What's up with G Rap? I go,
I heard you
he's cool, G Rap cool. And then he asked me again, yo, Fab, tell me something about G Rap.
And that's when you discovered that he studies G Rap.
When I later listened to the album,
my
mind was blown where they was going.
Yeah.
Like, they was also inspired to go as hard as Public Enemy was going musically, which they was doing, but they was talking about, this is where we from, this is what's going on here. It blew my mind.
So Cube going to, what was it, Public Enemy's producers?
Yeah.
That was a no-brainer for you,
When he gets to New York, I'm the first person he calls. I'm like, because we's tight now. We got everybody numbers, we cool. And not only that, oh man, this is another good story. I did an interview. Andy Warhol had a magazine. It was called Interview Magazine.
Wild.
He starts his story with Andy Warhol.
Yeah, Andy Warhol had a magazine. So I know Andy now.
Yeah.
And they would interview interesting people doing interesting stuff. It was a cool format, like a big newsprint. The photos were big, beautiful. It was like, nothing was like it. And I was like, yo, let me reach out to them. I wanted to interview this new group, because I did a couple of interviews. I interviewed LL for interview. I did a few people. The first one I did was for Spike Lee, when She's Gotta Have It came out. I'm in that for a second. Anyway, I interview NWA, all of the group members on the phone, and then we set up this photo shoot, which is happening a few days later. And I talked to the photographer who's based out there, and I'm like, make sure you know, these are the members of the group, you know, make sure this, blah, 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 blah. So I set it all up, and I talk to the photographer a little later. I go, so how did it go? He said, oh, Fab, it went great. I go, so who was there again? And he runs down all the members of the group. I said, wait a minute, what about Ice Cube? Are you sure? Are you sure? I can't believe what he's saying. He goes, yeah, Fab, this is who was there. So Cube wasn't there. I couldn't understand why. So
and you didn't know he left the group?
Dude, he just left the group. I called Cube and he tells me, nah, man. I'm like, yo, dude, really? You left the group?
That was crazy
like,
at that time.
This is that point. Like the money wasn't right. He figured it out. The math wasn't mathing. And he was like, yo, and he was trying to get his paper. It's all now, we all know the stories.
Right. It's documented.
Like the consumer, we didn't know until we saw America's Most Wanted. Like that's how I found out. I was like, what is this?
So when he comes to New York, I'll never forget, he called me and I'm like, what's up? He's like, oh man, I can't work with the Bomb Squad, man. That's the only one I can get busy with. I'm like, whoa.
Crazy.
And then the rest is history. No Vaseline, all that shit comes out.
Wow.
It's ill. And I'm like, wow. Oh, you know what was incredible about that moment that I really loved? Cube was the one that prominently like wore the Jerry curl in the beginning, which was a big LA style. Black folks had the Jerry juice, the Jerry curl going on. When Cube did his first performance at the Apollo, he shaved his head off. He came out with the baldy.
Right.
And Harlem went crazy. I'll never forget like how that hit so hard because everybody was used to seeing him like that. And that was that shit. Like when that baldy hit, you know, that was a look right then. Like that was official. And that was the beginning of him becoming like, you know, taking it to another level.
Yeah, crazy. Jacking for beats, everything. Yeah. Hold on. I was about to go. We're gonna do our drinking game.
Okay, drinking.
So,
but he's your designated drinker.
You got a sip if you want.
Of what?
You got wine. We got whatever you want.
Guy, go ahead.
We got vodka, club soda. He said he's the Basquiat. See, I told you, man.
You sent it, Haz? You sent it? All right, so here are the rules of the game. We're gonna give you two choices. You pick one of the choices. We don't drink. Nobody drinks. But if you give the politically correct answer, which is either both, you say it's both, or neither of them.
Okay.
We all
love for both. Yeah.
If you say I love both of them or I don't like both of them, we all drink.
Okay.
But this is not to diss anybody. This is really for stories. Anything that any of these choices bring up a story for you, please give us a story. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Did Sonny use the bathroom?
Here comes Sonny Michel.
You think you're...
Where'd you send it, Haz? Holy shish kebab. We got 1 million. Nah, I don't got it. You got it?
You don't see the picture?
The picture. Yeah, that's it. Click above it. No, I don't see it.
I see it. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, dick, I don't see it. Let me get it.
It's right there. By the Basquiat, all right?
Nah, I don't see it. I see it now. My bad. Go ahead. I got it.
Glass if I keep going.
Ready?
Don't forget that I want to get on the talk about this.
Absolutely. I haven't forgotten that at all.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Biggie or Big L?
Whoa.
Your criteria.
And it's your criteria and any stories with anybody as well.
Because you met them both.
Big L, I met briefly, strip club in the Bronx back then.
Golden Lady?
That's where you met Big L?
Man.
Golden Lady, okay. I feel it. I feel like my mind was there.
Yes. But I did a Yo MTV Raps with the whole Digging in the Crates crew, Showbiz and AG and them.
What we need on the park.
And the other brother that passed away with the on the turntables. One of the executioners, Rock Raider was there. And also there was
I'm glad you got scared for him too.
Oh my God.
was
That's an artist.
Big L. But at that point, I didn't know who he was. He was literally just getting on.
Right.
Large Professor was there. So the whole scene opens, everybody's digging in the crates because that was their thing. So we was like, yo, y'all, what up? I'm here. You know how I do my thing. We up here in Showbiz and AG's lab, and his homies is digging in the crates.
Oh, I seen this recently.
Yeah, this is one of my, and so I'm like, after later, I'm like, oh my God, that's Big Al.
Right.
So love him, but I'm a little, obviously Biggie got to produce a bit more. You know, I got to connect with Biggie, put some blunts in the air. He was a blunt chain smoker.
And his Bed-Stuy as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, origin, but of course, we didn't engage at that point,
Right.
but when we later met and connected, just the vibe was right. And then I do the whole interview with him at the Bad Boy offices, him and Craig Mack, you know.
Rest in peace, Craig Mack.
His national television introduction,
Right.
you know.
Wasn't that the time y'all introduced the Big Mac? Was that it?
No, we didn't do the Big Mac, but we both in the office and.
Okay.
But I asked Biggie a question because it was similar. It was referenced one of his rhymes. I was like, he said, sometimes the rap game, you know, was comparable to the crack game. And being that he was like, yeah, you know, his answer was, if I was flipping burgers, you know, if I was selling burgers, then I would have been rapping about that. But
right.
one of the answers
I
to
remember
that was a great moment with them two spitters, hot spitters.
Tupac or Eazy-E? Rest in peace to both.
Oh, man.
You met them both. I
Yeah.
met neither.
Oh, man, no question. That's so, wow. I go with Easy. Yeah. Just because we had I love them both, but had that connection
Right.
and introduced the whole scene But I loved the episode we did, Your MTV Raps. You had it on earlier when I walked in.
Or Tupac.
And Tupac, that was the first time it was recorded because I knew, and it hadn't come out then. He hadn't become the mega star in terms of, the movies and whatever. But I knew he had a Black Panther connection in the
That's
family.
when you found out? Okay.
And it's the first time he stated it.
And Harlem directly, yeah.
No, we were in L.A.
That was
because
California.
I'm saying because of Juice and all.
Oh, yeah. No, the Panther 21 thing all happened in New York where his mom was involved and he was conceived. It's a crazy story. His mom was in, and the brother that was his father, they were both a part of the Black Panther 21. They were on trial. They were under heavy pressure. They had a moment together in the holding cell or whatever when people that know they'll break it all down because they was caught up in the system for a while. That's how he was conceived.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So he came out of that. So when I asked him about that in that episode, and he says he breaks that down, like I come from some, from some revolutionary stuff. Like my mother was a Panther, my father, and they met. He was a hustler on 135th Street, and they got together, but they was down trying to make revolution for real.
It's crazy.
So that was a good moment.
Smith & Wesson or M.O.P.?
M.O.P. Love Smith & Wesson too, but being a Brooklyn cat, the way M.O.P. represent, like they define Brown.
Smith Wesson's from Brooklyn too, though.
One more time?
Smith Wesson's from Brooklyn too, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. I should be more specific and say Brownsville.
Okay.
A very specific energy.
Okay.
The way they articulate, it's just, oh my God, I feel like
Okay.
like the best of Brownsville.
Yeah.
On some street wild shit.
They all my brothers too. Big
Yeah, shout out to all of them.
KRS-One
question.
or Rakim?
Man, this is torture. I mean, come on.
You drink. If you don't want to pick, he drinks.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
And Basquiat.
Thank you. Help me out.
Yes.
I don't want to.
You don't want to pick? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
All right, cool.
man.
I'll take.
I mean, you didn't have to remind them like that. Now we're gonna drink like crazy.
No, thank you. I totally forgot the rules. I'm like, man, I would have been said that.
Like, half and half.
Shot on your behalf.
Half.
Thank you, man. I would have been. I'm spazzing out here.
Hector, you don't want to? You want a shot?
You want a little piece?
Come on. Oh shit.
Somewhere where Jorge at? Somebody get one of them things.
Yo, y'all nicknamed him Jorge. I love it.
Y'all be having
Law right here.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, come sit in and have a shot. Have a shot for Fat Five.
Oh man,
Level C.
All right.
Duke so much fun.
Hold on, I gotta
Oh, take your shot. Take your shot.
You took yours?
Yeah, I took mine. Both
Thanks
of
for
us.
reminding me of the rules of the game.
All right.
I forgot.
Duke Ellington
Or John Coltrane.
or John Coltrane?
I can't. You got to take a shot.
Gotta take a shot. All right,
Jeez.
cool. That's tequila? He likes tequila. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Give him tequila.
Drink it up.
Kool G Rap or Slick Rick?
Oh, man, this is torture. Drink up.
Oh, damn. Now I see where we're going with this.
Damn, come on, man. Y'all should have.
You got any good stories with any of them?
Once again,
Kool G Rap or Slick
well,
Rick?
shit. Kool G. Yes, I mean, I directed. Oh, this is great. I love to tell people because at this point when I'm directing,
Forget about the directing part.
yeah.
part
So
of
I
it, yeah.
directed about 60 or so music videos.
Right.
The first one,
The original Hype Williams.
My philosophy. Well, Hype did his thing. He had a whole incredible style. So
Yes.
love Hype. Love to see that. That was incredible.
Yeah.
A very exciting period of just a lot of people learning how to use film. And
Right.
once again, Wild Style was my introduction, and I had these ideas. It was a period where I was frustrated with just making paintings, having shows,
Right.
one solo show a year, a couple of group shows. I had this experience making Wild Style, and I wanted to do something with film again, and that's why I wanted to direct the videos. I was trying to do a Public Enemy video. Jive Records, the woman that ran the head of the whole A&R, Ann Carley, had heard and hired me to do my philosophy video for Karis one.
Oh,
Jesus.
One of the first video.
Legendary.
Yeah, so then I go on to direct a whole bunch of videos in that period, and I directed Road to the Riches for Kool G Rap.
Crazy.
Right.
And what I'm most proud of in terms of where we were in that time, the crack game was really going on, and the song is about the rise and fall of a crack dealer. This is like 92-ish, if you will, time frame wise. And I'm from these streets, so I know that story. Bang. So I put that together. And if you remember the video, what I was also proud of is I'm the first video to put an image of Scarface. That became a super iconic thing, and I'm a film nerd as well as an art nerd. Like, I know this shit, and I was like, I went to see Scarface the first day the film opened. I'm a Brian D. Palmer fan, who's the director, and actually it was Oliver Stone that wrote the screenplay. So I was like, unbelievable film. And then to see it become such a big thing in the culture was fantastic. So, bang, I direct that video once again, which is the story of the rise and fall of a crack dealer. Like,
Let's take a shot for that. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, let's take a shot for that.
Go to the Riches, Kool G Rap. And another little piece of that story
Let's go.
is there was a brother named George Jackson, rest in peace. That was
In jail. He died in jail.
no, not the Black Panther.
Okay, my bad.
That's okay.
All right.
That's
I got
what I told
revolutionary on you?
What are you doing, man?
No, I love that. And because, it's funny, I used to think of that early on, but then as you got to know George, he was who he was. George was a brother from Harlem that went to Harvard on a football scholarship and worked his way into Hollywood.
Whoa.
And I think he might have had something to do with Crush Groove. He was hanging around doing things with Richard Pryor. And then being that he was from Harlem, he had this idea to make a gangster film. And the film George came to me to assist with is a film called New Jack City. Wow. I'm an associate producer on that film.
Wow.
Thank you. The story was actually based on the Nicky Barnes story, heroin, whatever, but that's set in the 1970s. George didn't want to set the film in the 70s. He wanted to set it, which was
Current day,
which was the early 90s, when New Jack Swing is bubbling and about to explode. So he wanted to do a contemporary scene, and he knew I was tapped in. When George comes to meet with me to talk about this film, which I didn't know anything about, I'm finishing the rough cut of the Kool G Rap video, okay? Road to the Riches. And when I show him the video, if you remember, there's a dude that's in Kool G Rap's crew. He starts off, they scrambling on the street, like real grimy, how it used to be, hand to hand, the jumbos and whatever. Then we see them, he's the boss now in the office and whatever. And there's this cat that you see several times through the video that pulls out as the cops rush in. His man was undercover.
Right.
And you see, you go back and watch the Road to the Riches video. When George watches the video, he's like, oh my God, this is the idea in the movie, which Ice-T.
Ice-T, right.
And is the cop infiltrating Nino Brown's organization. When George had put this in front of me, and he had gotten this brother, sadly, he passed not long ago, Barry Michael Cooper, who was from Harlem, but he was nice with the words. His word game was crazy. And Barry had written a couple of articles, and being he was from Harlem, like writers that was connected to our scene, our culture at that time hadn't emerged yet with a strong voice. And George was highly educated, but he was from these streets too. When he saw a couple of articles Barry had written, and that, in fact, one of the very first articles on the crack epidemic about to happen, I think it might have been in Spin magazine. George was like, this brother can write this script. And George got Barry to write the screenplay for New Jack City. And after he saw the video, I came on as a producer to help the flavor, like the jewelry, Wesley's clothes. Like I was hovering over all of those departments, getting the 4-finger ring right, getting the right jewelry right at different times as they was rising, the suits, and that was phenomenal. So
that's crazy.
Put
Yeah.
that 5 finger down before it makes some change.
Exactly. I love Christopher Williams' moment. Yeah.
Light-skinned niggas been out of style since.
That was Wesley, yeah. Listen, I remember when we were shooting that scene, New Jack City, where Wesley stabs Christopher Williams. I never liked you anyway, pretty motherfucker. Yeah. That shit, every time we shot, there's moments when you're on a set, if you got actors at that level, when they do that, the whole crew is like, no. Everybody,
like it's real.
Everybody has stopped doing what they're doing to watch. Like, yo, he's doing his thing. And when he did that shit, it was so crazy. I was like, what? I never liked you in, like, just to stab a nigga like in the hand like that, like your crew and shit. Never. And that was a dynamic.
He complimented him too.
Let me tell you another interesting dynamic about that. As this was my role on that film. Being that I know what time it was, and George wanted to. The archetypes were people in the game, in the thing. The model for Nino Brown in our heads, and this me that this is what I'm brought on to do, was Big Daddy Kane. That was the model in terms of the archetype. We could see that Ice-T was a character in the way he would do his rap thing, and some of his early videos, boom. So we, Ice-T was definitely, so I'm bringing all these names to the table. But we had auditioned Kane, he was incredible, but we had heard about this brother that oh my God, was it, not Mo Better, what was the movie Wesley debuts in? It might have been.
Not White Man Can't Jump. No.
That's
after he blew up, right?
I'm spazzing. I'm gonna be mad at myself.
Mo Better Blues? Was it?
That's what I'm thinking. Was it Mo Better, Wesley's first film? I think he was about to start shooting. One more time?
Bobcats? Wildcats?
No, but I'm talking about, this was specifically a Spike Lee film.
Wild Thoughts.
I think,
Wild Thoughts.
Thank you. I believe
Jungle Fever?
Yeah, he's with the white guy.
I think it was Jungle Fever. And George had gotten a line on this guy. He said, yo, there's this young actor, Wesley Snipes. He's just shot this new Spike Lee film. I believe it was Jungle Fever. He said, I think this could be our Nino Brown. And we went to the after party for Spike's film, and I meet him for the first time. He had been in another film about baseball. He was playing a baseball player, but it didn't really blow up. It was like...
Not Major League.
I think it was Major League.
Okay, yeah.
He was in that. He was Willie Mays Hayes, I believe,
Willie Mays Hayes
was his character.
Yeah. He was trash.
So we now, George, we're very aware of the dynamic amongst us of the dark skin and the light skin, and something was happening at that time with Michael Jordan, with Wesley Snipes. It was like the dark skin now is emerging as an alternative, getting some shine and some legit. Bobby Brown was on fire and about to explode.
His prerogative.
So we were like, you know what? As opposed to going the way Hollywood made typical one, somebody a little lighter, brighter, curly hair, like that, whatever. We were like, we want to go the complete opposite. This was something that George and I were like, okay. that makes sense. So the first time we go to meet Wesley, I remember we knew this shit's gonna be fire, right? The film, like what we putting together, we got Teddy Riley putting the soundtrack together.
Teddy Riley on Monday.
Yeah, oh my God.
Monday.
Yeah,
Tell him I said what's
Tuesday,
up.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Tell Teddy I talked about this.
Okay.
He gonna light up. Because I'm in the studio, like I'm hovering over, like boom, boom, boom. And we pull Wesley to the side, and he's auditioning everything. Like he's incredible. Like he can do it. Like he can cry in the scene that we need. He can do that whole shit. Like he's a whole acting package. So we said, Wesley, like, yo, man, like I'm telling him, I said, man, this film is really gonna make you a star. He said, no, Fab, that's not gonna happen, man. I said, what do you mean? Because we saw it. He says, I'm too dark. And I was like, wow. I remember George and I both laughed because that was exactly why we knew it was going to happen. Because we felt the tempo, this was coming now. And the gangster, but still like attractive, but a dangerous, sexy, we had the whole shit mapped out. Like what we needed this character to be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And the shit worked. And Wesley blew up. It was just beautiful to see it all explode. Even bigger than I think, I didn't know. Theaters was, bullets was going.
Yeah,
it was
wild.
That weekend, it was quite a sensation.
Wow.
That was a long story, but
that was great.
Thank you, G Rap. That really led to me being a producer on New Jack City.
Miles Davis or Louis Armstrong?
Oh man, y'all got a drink, man. This is torture.
I'm in. I'll drink it.
So yes, Miles I met because of him and Max Roach were tight, and Max was a big fan of all the hip hop stuff as it was just beginning to emerge, and so he was really into it, and as was Miles. Like I like to remind.
When you say Max, you're talking about
Max Roach, who was the drummer. That was my godfather.
Okay.
If we didn't talk about him earlier,
yeah, we did.
And he was tight with Miles, and they would talk about different things going on. Miles was in, he switched from the classic jazz and went into the jazz rock.
Right.
And they basically were very open-minded, and so.
Now, is it true that Louis Armstrong asked for a weed card?
Yeah, that's in my film.
Yeah.
In the documentary I made about.
I got a weed card right now.
Right?
Like this shit is legit.
Yeah, the documentary I made
I got a
called
receipt for this shit.
Yeah, so now it's legal. But Louis, it was such great logic. And that moment
in the 60s, he asked for that? What was this?
It was known among many people.
He said that you could get a gun license. If you
That's
could get a gun
that's in my
license,
film. That's exactly what he said.
If you could get a gun license, and that shit makes so much sense.
It doesn't. Thank you.
If you could get a gun license,
he's telling his manager. His manager was
the Golden Leaf.
Yeah, his manager. His manager was a real deal gangster that they were super tight, and he was able, because the gangsters controlled a lot of the music industry and what have you. And Louis' manager was the real deal.
And he wrote a letter.
They didn't write the letter, but he wrote what Louis Armstrong would do. He would record how he felt. There's hours of him just expressing himself. And this was one of the things that he had talked about numerous times about why they pressuring me for this plan, which is basically harmless. And I should, telling his manager in a sense, which I think it was a letter, if I'm not mistaken, but there's tapes of him talking about the illogical nature of cannabis being criminalized and him kind of being pressured which is what my whole film Grass is Greener gets into.
Right, on Netflix. Motherfucker, go out there and make sure you Let's go.
Yeah, it was heavy duty pressure that they targeted people in the music game, and they knew Louis and other people that got pressured the most for this plant that never killed anybody. And Louis was, he was well renowned. And we believe, and the research I did with other like cannabis experts, because he sometimes would refer to it as the golden leaf.
Golden leaf. I've been looking for the golden leaf.
We felt that his connection really knew how to cultivate cannabis for the flower. When we was coming up, most people just smoked everything damn near. You didn't know, it's when the weed got that sticky stuff on it, that's the flower giving you like the real state of the art in in cannabis, you know, like a sativa, like an indica. We believe that's what Louis had a direct line on. So his weed was consistently great.
Louis had Branson back then.
It's excellent.
All right, we're gonna get into Branson. I love that part of your documentary. You're the only person that got Branson and Biggs on film, and that's probably two of the last filmed people in the world.
Listen, Branson is my boy. It was really hard work to get Branson. And the day we initially were shooting him, he stood up my whole crew. And I'm like, I got major people, my DP, Malik Saeed. These are feature level cinematographers, you know, brother in the game. That's my man. He was Hype Williams, main cinematographer, coming up. They designed that look of what Hype was doing.
Yeah.
But that was heavy. That was heavy pressure.
So let me just say something while we're here. I tell a famous story of one time I was drunk on 124th Street. This was the first. I believe it was Fruits of Life, and we were drinking. And I'm in Harlem, obviously. I live in Jersey, but I was drunk, but I was sober enough to know if I make it to Branson Block, I'm safe. No, I told the story, and Branson recently co-signed the story, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so he's been on a pod, right?
He did. All right, let me break it down because
I've seen this.
There's a part of this story that's super missing.
Wow.
No, it's with me. I'm telling Jadakiss this. Jadakiss knows exactly what it is. Okay. I'm sitting there in Harlem. I drink Tiger Bone. This is Tiger Bone.
Branson would have that Tiger Bone on deck.
So I'm on 124th, but I'm at Fruits of Life. I live in Jersey. I'm on my way headed to Jersey, and I'm like, I can't make this. There's no way. I don't even want to risk my life. Like, my life is too important. So I go to the safest place in the world that I think. You know what the safest places in the world was at that moment?
Branson's.
Was Branson Block.
Yeah. Wow.
I drove my car to Branson Block. And this is, I love the fact that he co-signed my story, but I want to reiterate how important this man is in our community and is to the cannabis lifestyle.
Legend. He's the legend.
There was at times where, right now in New York City, if you go to certain restaurants, they stick up kids outside of these restaurants. If you go to certain weed spots, they stick up kids outside of this weed spot. Branson has so much love and so much power that you can walk into Branson and Redman would be behind the thing. Pause, sucking on a lollipop. Pause. They had the best lollipops at this time. Just chill. Just chill.
That's the Japanese candy.
Then they had the Japanese candy.
Yeah, a lot of exactly.
I'm dead serious. You will go back there
Branson
and you'll go use the bathroom. Biggie Smalls will be coming out the bathroom. I kid you not. For us, Branson created an experience. It wasn't about going to buy bud. I come from Queens. I'm literally almost an hour and a half with traffic. And there's always traffic in New York City.
That's so true.
I would come from Queens, 97-30, 57th Avenue, and go all the way to the Tri-Barrel. And guess what? I would not leave. Branson, when I saw him in your documentary, I saw how comfortable he was, and I know he's not comfortable with entertainment. There's so many people who big him up.
That's so true.
There's so many people who big him up, and he's always took the back. So I wanna reiterate this part of the story that the reason why I parked at Branson and I pulled up.
You knew you
I had a 600. This is the brand new 600 bin.
Okay.
Jadakiss knew the story. Jadakiss, he was like, "Yo, where did you go?" Because I was drinking with Jadakiss. That's the reason why. His idiot ass was there with me. But I went and I parked the car and I just looked at the first person that I know I saw in Branson, and I was like, "Yo, I can't drive." I gave the kid my key.
Was that the kid that had the dreads?
No, you talking about Eddie. You talking about Eddie. No.
Okay, you know.
No, that was his people inside. I'm talking about this was the people from the block. This how much Branson had love in the block.
Listen.
I knew anybody who knew him, I was good with. I gave this guy my key, bro.
That's incredible.
I don't know him from nowhere.
Such
I
a
gave
great
him my
story.
key. And I called what we called OJ. This is New York shit. OJ.
That was the early
that's the
ghetto
cost.
Uber.
Ghetto Uber.
For real.
That's a great way to
fly
describe.
shit back in the day.
And I went home and I woke up and I had no worries in the world. I promise you. I went right back to the same block.
And everything was good.
That kid was sitting there waiting for me like, yo, you good? I was like, yes. He's like, yeah, that was the right thing you did. You couldn't have made it to wherever the fuck you... And what I'm trying to say to you is, Branson, when Branson answered this story, he answered it as if it was the respect for me. I have to take that away and say,
Branson's a modest cat, so that's right.
He's a modest, humble guy. No, Branson.
Yeah.
There was a reason I went to that block. That was the safest block in America, bro.
That's right.
Branson sold you triangle bags, and I seen that when you was, and then I seen you actually went on that podcast.
Yeah.
You showed the envelope or the $5.
Y'all made how the weed bag used to look. I had to take it back.
Yeah, but let me just describe to you, because you also, in your documentary, you said over 60 rappers shouted out Branson.
That's right. He had a big thing they put together.
So let me tell you why, guys. You come from Queens. You come from Staten Island. You come from Jersey. You come from anywhere in the world. And then with those 3 blocks, because he did not only have that one block, he had all these other blocks. I would buy my bud, bring some champagne, and I would sit there, a Queens dude.
Wow.
I get my car washed out there.
That's that old school Harlem.
Let me tell you something. There has never been an experience like Branson. So when I just kept rewinding your documentary, just looking at that, because this is the first time that he talked, and he was still humble.
You better believe it, yeah.
So I'm gonna brag for him.
Man.
I'm gonna brag for him, Branson, bro. We all owe you a lot. You gave us a sense of safety, a sense of comfortability.
Incredible.
Like we couldn't even get. I'm speaking on behalf of all rappers.
I feel you.
We couldn't get that comfortability in our own hood because people would judge us. But for that block, I don't know what he did to that block.
No,
but they loved him. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's just so beautiful to hear you articulate it like that. That's something.
I got to get this off my chest, bro.
No, listen, I love it. And when I moved up to Harlem in the early 2000s, I got really tight with Eddie, and he would tell me how they got down, and the way Branson, numerous times he would have cookouts, and he would buy food, the real classic Harlem stuff that went down that you hear about. You know, Branson did that. He's cut from that cloth of those cats from that 70s era. He didn't go that direction, obviously, but he treated people like that. He was super tight with another Harlem legend, rest in peace, my man Von Zip.
Von Zip,
And Zip had 118th Street the same way. They took care of the whole block.
I've been to Zip's club, Zip Code.
Yes, Zip Code came later. Yes, indeed. He had an incredible fly club in Harlem. He managed Mike Tyson for a minute, along with my dear friend, Jimmy Rosemond, you know, AKA Jimmy Ace. Yeah, you know, that's my man. But so Branson had that classic Harlem get down that really, unfortunately, you know, nothing lasts forever. But that's a big part of the reason why the block showed you just was, the way that went down is just unbelievable.
But just think about it. I'm telling you, listen, I'm smacked drunk out of it.
Wow.
But I still knew enough. I knew enough to say I know where it's safe at.
Yeah.
I'm already in Harlem. It's 124. And I believe, you correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Branson was on 151st or 149th.
It was Saint Nick. 150.
The fish spot is right down the block.
Right.
That's how I get to Branson. I go to the fish spot.
Walk 2 steps
I get a fish sandwich.
Yeah.
And then I go to...
Look at you. Yes.
What's that, famous fish?
There's famous on 145th.
145th.
Yeah, 145th.
Yes.
And Saint Nick.
Yes, that's the best fucking fish in the world.
Get the fried fish.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Miami, I need
Nobody
to understand where
frying fish like that.
Yes, I need a fried.
That's a
fish.
southern thing. So it's mostly fried porgies and whiteys. This is what's typical in New York.
Yeah.
And then some fries,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A few other sides. But it's mainly like fried whitings and fried porgies.
Yes.
It's typical what you get in most fish. They might have a red snapper here and there. But
No, what is it called? I got one spot that I love here. It's in the hood. Snappers?
Snappers.
It's Snappers? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Snappers?
that's what you meant. Okay.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Yo, I think my New York niggas, I be like, yo, listen.
They put that lemon.
I got New York fish out here. They're like, where? I'm like,
So
I
now,
take them
let me
Snappers.
just-
They be like, this is not it. Okay. sorry.
I'm sorry for jumping. Like, it was just an
please, let's
exciting
go.
moment. So Branson, because he's exactly how you described,
Yes.
classic hustling. I'm not trying to be telling everything. I'm not trying to. That's so much a weird part of the culture now.
Yeah.
That's what it
Right,
is. Cass is ready to tell everything. Branson is cut from that classic cloth of you don't talk, nobody talking.
Yes.
Classic,
Yes.
real
Yes, he
classic
is.
hustling street shit.
he is.
And so that's, I think, a part of why he was like, I had set all this up. Because I also told Branson, look, man, I had no idea I would get into the cannabis business. But just really, that is a part of how this happened. Because I said, man, listen, I'm going to meet these people, Branson. You basically created a brand without realizing you created
did.
a brand. Because over 60 rappers, including Biggie, which I use in my film, and mention a bunch of others, rapped about, yo, I got a jar from Branson. I'm uptown with that
Can I
Branson.
stop you for 1 second? Because let me just say something. When you say jar is different because something you broke down in your documentary is his 20s was in triangle.
Correct.
And his 50s
20s
was in brown bags.
Okay, but no, but I think he might have had two sizes of triangles. Because I remember sometimes it's like a 20.
No,
and then
because sometimes he had Tostic and sometimes he had the green.
Oh my God.
So he had the brown. Oh, okay, I'm a Branson specialist.
Really?
No, you are not. Listen, Trust me.
I love this.
Trust me, I might have been in
He's a
Branson more than
connoisseur.
him at
No,
one
that's-
point.
that's
Like,
incredible.
I ain't gonna lie.
I love
I used to bring toilet tissue there. Like, because
Classic.
I'm gonna take a shit. This is going down. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
This is perfect. I love this so much.
So they had a Tostic in the 20s. Then he had the green in the 20s as well.
Right.
But then the brown bags was the 50s. And then if you had a jar,
That was like-
a jar was 150 or more. So
Yeah,
if
that's
you,
like was a jar a quarter or like a half ounce? It was.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know.
It was between the two. One of them.
Yeah,
'cause
but
that was
the jar was
yeah.
when you was a baller. Like
Exactly.
that's
Yeah,
rapper
let's get a
weed.
jar from Branson. Yes.
That's what they called the rapper weed at that time.
Which is the way you would hear it referenced. So you had some paper and you knew he had the most consistent, high quality cannabis that you can get. It was really like a dispensary.
But to keep it real, I'll never tell this story. I gotta tell the story. Capone gets locked up. Capone's like, jeweler, call him. Capone's like, yo, I need some bud, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm sending him bud. He's like, nah, I want that. I want that Branson. So I'm like, all right. I go uptown. I buy everything that I need. Then I buy everything Capone need. I don't know. I don't know how to wrap shit up for jail niggas. What the fuck?
Okay.
Like, I don't know how to do this shit. He tells me to go meet a girl.
Yeah.
Go meet the girl. I give her the bud. I don't rap this shit. He hit me like, man, that shit ripped her shit up.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
So the triangles, I got
Good God. Okay.
I got like 10 of them.
Whoa.
So she had to stop the shit.
Whoa.
He's like, yo, why you ain't wrap it up? I'm like, what the fuck, nigga? Like, I
my
got instructions to buy bud
he
now?
didn't know he didn't know where it was actually going to go. I'm sure too.
Like, is that my problem?
That's
Like,
wild.
Like, I'm paying for it. I'm doing.
Wow.
And but when I tell you,
Jesus.
that whole week, Capone called me, was like, he was the man. Like, he had the whole jail
everybody
smoking
lit.
Branson.
Yes.
This how.
It's allegedly, anyway.
No, it's not allegedly.
No,
This
that's
is
how he
not
made his name. He
Yeah.
consistently had that
Listen to
fire
me.
before
So he's trying to
anybody
be-
else.
Do the right thing.
had a person like Fab, a person like me, a person like us, had we knew that you could legalize this shit eventually,
Yeah.
like this guy was the first of everything, Branson. Like,
Yeah, he's a pioneer.
like I'm just being honest. Like, he's my friend. I love him. I don't want to say that he doesn't want this props. I want to say what you said. He's from that old school where it's like, you don't claim this shit, but I gotta claim this. I gotta be cocky for him, bro. Like, this is the first time, like, I would be stressed out. This is like therapy for me, going to Branson.
Wow.
Like, I would go there and I would just chill. I mean, by myself, like a Queens dude chilling in Harlem with a fucking 600 Benz parked outside, sitting there rolling, arguing with Eddie, arguing with it, like, cause I argue with Eddie, like, oh yeah, man, shut up, man.
Yeah.
He's like, man, y'all Queens niggas, come over here. You get your car washed. I'll get my car washed. I'm sitting there. It was a great experience, bro. There has been nothing like that. And God bless me, Branson, because I know he probably gonna watch this and be like, damn, no, you went too far. But they have, every dispensary in California has bit what you presented. Like, they come and you can chill, you can roll up, you can buy some candy, and you can sit outside and chill.
No, he's a real pioneer.
So I'm sorry, Branson. I'm sorry, but I had to give you your flowers because when I heard, I said this story, and he responded, but he responded in so much of a humble way, and I was like, nah, bro. The reason why I parked there is because I knew the respect that they had for you, and I knew the respect that they had, that I always come in there to see you.
That's so real right there.
And I got to give Branson this spot. So you not only got Branson to speak, but a person who managed me and EFN both is Biggs.
Yes.
And you got Biggs to speak.
Right.
I was blown away just sitting back. I was like, and you got Biggs to speak about cannabis, and not only that, Biggs got convicted of cannabis.
Well, he sort of referenced that. I didn't want to go expand too much on that, but
I'm gonna take a
that
shot.
was part of the dynamic in terms of the injustices that too many people have had to go through for this plant, which is basically a harmless medicinal plant that has been going back to the 1930s that I illustrate. They just whipped it into a frenzy. They lied. They created this cannabis conspiracy film like Reefer Madness, and they spooked people to the core and got cannabis criminalized and then targeted people. So Biggs was one of the victims of that.
Wasn't it a guy who killed his whole family or something like that? And they said it was for weed, and he was a schizophrenic.
Thank you. The guy was a schizophrenic, but they whipped it and made it seem like this was a cannabis story. That was a part of the lies that they used to whip and get congressmen to criminalized cannabis in 1937. And
which was always racially motivated as well.
The guy's name was, but it was only because people of color were using it, and as well as Spanish people.
Right.
They even gave it the name. That's why people in the cannabis business never use, serious people that get this, don't use the term marijuana, because that was invented.
That's a Mexican, right?
It was invented by the people that wanted to criminalize cannabis to make it sound Mexican. That word did not exist for the plant in Mexican society. Wow. So they got marijuana, like Tijuana, just chicken my film. So there's real serious racism when you dig in to how they targeted certain people. And we were victimized largely for that. And the people around...
Iguana. You following me?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, that became a nickname for it. So those were all things that they used to get cannabis criminalized. But cannabis is largely medicine. Yes. And that's the thing that we now know more of. When you get, especially good cannabis, there's medicinal value. And once scientists really looked at the plant and studied it and understood there's these various cannabinoids, different components, began to isolate the CBD and be like, oh, this really heals pain. It takes the inflammation away. And it's the medical usage of the plant that have broken down all these lies. And states like California, Colorado, which were out front in terms of going medical first, then all the lies that it's gonna just the gateway drug, blah, blah, blah. Come on, what has created, taking people to a opioid crisis was legally pushed, you know, the oxycodone and the whole opioid thing. Cannabis has helped so many people, and that's what changed a lot of the negative perception. It's usually medical first, a couple of years, and then people go, look, it's helped me with this, it's helped me with that. It helps people with pain issues. So a lot of these things are in the process, and you know, I happen to make a film talking about this, showing this history, the music connection from the jazz people to the hip hop people. Snoop gave it up for me. I got my man, you know,
Be Real was
Be Real from Cyprus, and them really speaking about the plant.
That's the only part I had. Like, Be Real said the Mount Rushmore, and he was like him, Snoop, Meth.
Well, that was, that one.
Like, yo, what the fuck? What am I, invisible?
Oh my God.
I'm fucking with you. That's a joke.
Love it.
But I was like, damn, nigga, I've been here for years. Nigga.
I know, that's so true.
Yeah.
You know, you clearly.
Off the floor like this.
But segue into your product.
So basically, once again, loving cannabis, growing up, my dad, all those jazz guys were big aficionados. It's actually my business partner, Ron Samuel, where he was from Cali. He's a brother that was in the game, in cannabis, seriously, moving packs around. You know, he was in the game hustling, doing his thing. But he saw the legal business opening up, and he wanted to dive in. But being that he had got caught up in the system, had, you know, spent a little time, they forbid, which are the people that really pioneered it, they forbid you in a lot of these states to be able to get into the business. So he was frustrated.
If you have a criminal background.
Correct. And you've been convicted and, you know, felony, whatever it may be. So boom. His whole thing was, I want to be a part of this. And he was going to the conventions thinking, you know, this is going back 10 or so years as it became a medical thing and a big business in California. How could I be a part of this? Because I know this, I've done this.
Right.
And we had a conversation one day, this is back like I think about 2016, 2017. He said, yo, I figured it out. I'm gonna start a consultancy company and I'm gonna call it 40 Acres and a Greenhouse. And so the idea was to play off of like the 40 acres, which we really didn't get, always given and taken away. And that was the idea, and to get into the game and you be a consultant, because all these business guys are getting in that really don't know cannabis. He's the cat that did it all up and down Cali, Humboldt, grows, you know, moving packs of serious high quality cannabis. And so when he said that, I just cracked up and I was like, oh, what a great idea. What a great name for the company. And this is my business partner in cannabis, a brother named Ron Samuel, who's been in the game a long time. He said, I'm gonna start a consultancy company, call it 40 Acres and a Greenhouse. And I said, that's great. And in the conversation, we cracking up and talking. I'm like, but wait a minute. You know, black folks made jazz records and bigged up the plant back then reggae artists did the same thing. Peter Tosh sang about legalize it over 40 plus years ago. And then in my era, artists that I introduced to the country, Snoop, you know, Redman, Method Man, all these cats were the modern day proponents making big hit records about the plant. What a great way to do a documentary. And that was when it was like, man, I have music, I'll be able to show, like get the hip hop people to talk, I'll get the historical footage of the jazz people doing it. But then I knew I was gonna have to focus on the criminal justice side of all the people that have gone to prison and lives have been upside down.
And that's how you discovered Be Noble.
Well, how I discovered, or how Be Noble came to be, the story that I chose to focus on to illustrate just the unfair, just harshness of this criminal justice system was a brother from Louisiana that was given a 13-year sentence for 2 joints worth of cannabis.
What he did, 8 years or 7 years?
He did 7.
Okay.
His name was Bernard Noble. So all people that were fighting,
joints. Just
2 joints worth of cannabis.
How crazy.
A couple of grams. Couple of grams of cannabis in his pocket. This is what it came out to. So basically enough to roll 2 joints. Right. We break it down to 2 joints, but it was just a little bit of weed. He maybe could have rolled like right 1 blunt, but basically
grams,
some shit like that. Right, 2 point whatever grams. And this is just illustrates how a lot of the prison system still works, unfortunately, in certain states. They looking to put people in prison just to make money off that prison industrial complex, all that nonsense.
It's a third strike state that this guy's for a joint.
Thank you. Listen, when Bernard Noble, which is the brother's name, we interview his family because I'm covering the jazz scene in my film, and Louis Armstrong, who's a big part of my film, as you've seen, is from Louisiana. That's where jazz is born. So we covering that. But then we interview his family, his mom and sisters. They break down. It's really a sad moment. Yeah. He's still in prison.
And those are the ones that you were there.
That's his family. Yeah, I'm in the house.
It's all 3 girls. And
it's the mother and his 3 sisters, I believe, 2 or 3 sisters. Really sad moment that illustrates what this has done to families over 2 joints worth of weed. His case had become celebrated, and a lot of people were campaigning, illustrated. In fact, Vice had did a show called Weediquette, and that's how I had first seen this episode, his story a couple of years before. They had a show called Weediquette on Vice TV.
I didn't see that.
It was like an Indian guy that hosted. A lot of it's on YouTube now.
I know that
Different topics around cannabis.
What was it about?
This particular episode of this show, which would do all different types of cannabis coverage, did a show on this brother that was in prison. I remember them talking to his kids, and you maybe heard him on the phone. He might have called in. But when you hear how much weed and how much time he got, it was just unbelievable. So I was like, that's the story I'm gonna focus on in the film.
Wow.
But after I'd interviewed the family, about a week later, I got a call that he had, because the people were campaigning on his behalf, that he finally got a parole. And he'd be coming home in a couple of weeks. So we fly back to Louisiana to capture that moment. And when he comes out, he says, man, I didn't know what was going on. There's people in there for less weed
than him.
I'm like, it's just blowing my mind. I mean, I interviewed former prosecutors that said I couldn't do that anymore, looking at how unjust. There's certain towns in some of these states, the money is made from this local prison, which they gotta keep full. And this goes back to a film Ava DuVernay made, a documentary also on Netflix called The 13th, which is about the 13th Amendment, which is supposedly the ending of slavery, but it shows how the prison system still manages to enslave people and has them working for slave wages. And it was like...
And it's big business.
It's big business, unfortunately, like publicly traded private prisons.
That's crazy.
You know what's crazy?
So that motivated me to do a brand in the brother's name, and we worked with him. Right. And we made a connection with this company, Curaleaf, which is a really big cannabis company. And so we've been in numerous states.
Yeah, 9 states already, right?
Correct. Yeah, we've been up to 9. And this was our initial product, which is a 2-joint pre-roll, which reflects the amount of weed he got popped for. Little stuff mentions that.
I'm taking that.
Yeah, this is, I'm sorry, I'll get you some. This is, and then the QR
that
code.
Part out. I'm taking that.
No, 100%.
Make it look like that.
We got you covered. And I got,
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we got you covered. And the flour is really incredible, like some really high quality flour that the company's been making sure as a premier brand with a compelling story. I mean, come on, cannabis is big business, but a lot of brands is just like colorful packaging and my weed's better than yours. Our weed is killer, incredible, plus we're doing something, giving back, and raising awareness about these issues, which people are still in prison. Like while cannabis is a multi-billion-dollar growing business, there's still states where people are still in prison. Like, Bernard could technically still be in jail now, you know? Yeah. He only did 7.
So we're going to finish quick time with slime.
And by the way, we started another new brand called Jungle Girl, which is only in New York, but this is a female-focused cannabis product here. The sister named Natalie from Cali, who has a fashion brand called Jungle Girl.
So men can't drink it?
Oh no! Anybody can smoke it. But what we learned in the cannabis scene, particularly people, a lot of people that are new to.
You don't get bathroom breaks.
Go to bathroom, dog.
I love how casual this is. This is incredible. What we learned in the business since we've been doing this now for like a few years now, a lot of women are now getting comfortable. A new audience is getting comfortable with cannabis, and a lot of the chicks can't roll. Because if you think about it, it takes some time to learn how to put a joint together. So pre-rolls, particularly for women, are very easy access. And
so that's a pack of pre-rolls.
Yeah, there's a 5-pack of little kind of nice, medium, small joints. And we have various like vibrant, euphoric and different kind of things. So we're not trying to get into all the wild names of various strains. People want to feel a certain way without making it too complicated.
Right.
So this is taking off really well in New York. We're in a bunch of dispensaries with Jungle Girl. And the Be Noble brand, we're expanding, and it's just really been an incredible run. Helping to inform people about these aspects of cannabis, like just to keep in mind that a lot of people have suffered. As a lot of states legalize, you're supposed to be able to expunge your criminal record and stuff. I mean, even when I made Grass is Greener, I didn't realize that people could get kicked out of public housing. A lot of stuff was still in cannabis in New York up until we went a completely adult use. And I get heavy on that in my film. I didn't realize what the cannabis laws actually were like. So it's a lot of...
And some of the companies that are benefiting off of it being legal are these huge corporations.
Marlboro.
No, not yet. Well, the company that we did this licensing deal with, Curaleaf, they're literally big. They're very big and they're in many states. They started medically, hence the name Curaleaf, curing. But they really wanted to step up and represent a brand that was speaking to this issue. Because when you understand cannabis, a lot of people's lives have been jammed up. A lot of people who we know. Like when I go to dispensaries in New York, which has one of the most like progressive cannabis like rules or regulations and stuff like that, and the OCM, the Office of Cannabis Management, a lot of people that got first on the list for dispensaries did time, that got caught up. It was seriously...
And they were brothers of color, right?
Oh, yeah, mostly, I mean, it's white folks as well, but mostly they was pressuring us, whereas in the white neighborhoods, kids were smoking just as much weed. Popo wasn't doing stop and frisk and running down on them in the same way. So as a hint, you have so many people getting jammed up. They really structured the legislation, particularly this state representative, Crystal Peoples-Stokes out of Buffalo. She fought hard for the legislation that we have. And whereas the Governor Cuomo tried to chop up pieces of the bill, she was like, no, we got to have it like this. And then finally, he signed it. So that's how people get on like that. Other states have talked about helping people, but it never really came to fruition, you know what I mean? That they helped as many people as they said they wanted to. But New York, there's a lot of people that, have dispensaries now giving it a go. And
pick up to Rich Player. He got his...
Be Noble, baby.
Fat Boys or Beastie Boys?
Beastie Boys.
Jay-Z or Big Daddy Kane?
Oh, man, I can't touch that. Oh. Y'all got to drink up. Love them both to death. Big Daddy Kane is from not far from where I'm from in Bed-Stuy, I'm from Hancock, Lewis and Garvey. It used to be Lewis and Sumner. And Kane is from Lewis, about 4 or 5 blocks away.
Goddamn.
Yeah, Big Daddy. He was on one of the first episodes of Your MTV Raps as well. Him, Rakim, yes, yeah.
Okay, Charlie Chase or Red Alert?
Wow. Oh, man, I can't do neither one of them. I love both of them. Man, wow. This list is murder, but y'all gonna get drunk messing with me up there. Shit.
Taking a shot? Taking a shot?
Nah, I'm cool. No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying, we taking a shot?
No, we took a shot already.
Oh, yeah. No,
we took a shot?
They did, yeah. They knocked it back. Yo, Drink Champs is serious, yo. This shit is serious. They really doing this up in here.
Debbie Harry or Cyndi Lauper?
Oh, man. I love Cyndi
I
Lauper.
feel like I gotta get my shot ready.
Debbie Harry's family.
Okay.
So, you know, love me some Debbie Harry.
Beat Street or Wild Style? I mean, come on.
Come on, y'all. You know it's Wild Style. The first, the best, the original.
Run DMC or EPMD?
You know I ain't touching none of that. I'm not touching none of that. Shit, I directed one of EPMD's early videos. I directed Strictly Business.
What?
Strictly Business.
Yeah. Strictly Business. EPMD.
Okay, Nas or LL Cool J?
I directed one of Nas's early videos.
Which one?
One Love.
Wow.
Yes. One Love.
Did you know that?
No, I did know that.
That's crazy.
Illmatic.
Yeah.
I literally filmed in his apartment in Queensbridge.
Wow,
His mom's
yeah.
was still up in that apartment. Nas was just beginning to take off, but I shot the scenes right in that apartment.
All right, so let's tell us about that. All right, so you get the call from Faith Newman?
No, not at all. I know Faith going way back.
Yeah, bigger Faith.
What would happen often, which was really a blessing, I'm hosting your MTV Rap, so Nas, once again, makes his national television debut with me on Your MTV Raps. Of course, the buzz was phenomenal. You know, I, of course, heard, you know, Live at the Barbecue, the whole
Back to the
shit.
Grill Again too had happened already?
I think, I'm not sure about that one, but definitely Live at the Barbecue. And then this buzz about this incredible phenomenon that, you know, and listening, I'm like, unbelievable, this is incredible. So then, boom, he comes through to do the show. And I really had, you know, I was looking at his videos and a couple of things, the first ones that came out, and I just felt like his personality was so held back in a way, and I wanted to get a chance to work with him because I wanted to bring more him out. I felt like I saw, because even sometimes in talking to him initially,
He's very protective. I know what you said.
he would talk, like he'd be real laid back and like okay, but then
like reserved.
Right, he'd be like, yo, but so-and-so, and boom, boom, boom. I'd be like, oh, okay. I saw this other thing in there. If you know Nas, you know what I'm talking about. When you really get him going, he'll come out of it.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to, and then, man, when we did the interview on Your MTV Raps, he told me the story how, yo, man, I can't believe I'm sitting here with you. This is actually on the part of the interview. He says, man, like, my pops took me to see Wild Style like when I was 10, and I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you, and da-da-da-da-da. Wow. And so then he's asking me questions in between, and I told him, oh, I directed this, I did that. He's like, yo, man, I want to work with you. Whoa. And so that's how that started right there, because he realized other things I made. Like I did Just to Get a Rep, of course, but I also did, Just to Get a Rep for Gangsta, my bad. And Road to the Riches for G-Rap. Those is real narrative storytelling that I knew I could handle that. And so, yeah.
Well, it's full circle being that he used Wild Style in the project too.
It was just, the connection was incredible.
Right.
Plus, being that his father was a jazz musician,
right.
I could sense that sensibility in his whole attitude and flow. And then as you learn more later, that was true. In fact, his pops used to live near me in Harlem. Olu Dara is his dad, who's a really renowned, horn sax player. And his dad introduced him to a whole lot of, conscious stuff. And, it was just perfectly, it worked out perfectly.
Right.
He made a young prodigy. And so that song, One Love, was like a script. I mean, it's perfect. The construct of that song.
You suggested you film that, or they called you to tell?
Well, when I met Nas and I told him things I made, and he said, oh, you made Just to Get a Rep. You did, wow, I want to work with you. My philosophy, because the videos then, only MTV at a point started putting the director's name up. Mostly you didn't know, and then, people didn't know who directed what, but then MTV started doing that, so it was really a good look. People got to know, Hype Williams, Fab, or this one, Lionel Martin, different people were directing. People began to pay attention. But with Nas's thing, it was perfect. I was like, oh man, I got this. And the hard thing was the casting. And something that I'm really flattered about with the One Love video is Hype did a scene in Belly, which was very...
the kid?
The young kid sitting out in his bench. Mm-hmm. And so
That's the one love.
Yeah, and they recreated a scene very similar with Nas sitting on the bench talking to this young wannabe thug type cat. The problem I would often have with music videos, the budgets wasn't enough for me to really hire actors. So oftentimes I would have to run out and try to find somebody that can be the character that I needed. So I know I need this young kid for this scene that I have in my mind. I'm riding around. I don't know where I'm gonna find this kid, but we was in Harlem one day and I saw this kid. This is before cell phones was really mad common. These two young kids on the corner with a house phone, a cordless house phone, fronting like
they're on the brick, like they're on the brick phone.
Yeah, not as big as a brick, but the same idea.
Yeah.
I got a cell phone, and they was fronting like, and they really was swagged out. They was like 13-ish. And so I drove by and I seen these two kids on the corner. I said, yo, I told my man, I said, yo, spin back around. Let me run over and holler at this young shorty right here. So I rolled up on him, and just like I'm back, he was trying to be thugged out. But I'm like, hey, how you doing, shorty? What's your name? What you doing? Blah, 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 blah. So we had a little conversation with him. And as I'm talking to him, I said, yo, I think this kid could do that. Because he was trying to be like a lot older. He had a real hard rock swagger. And boom, I got his mom's number.
Little now.
And I reached out and boom, and I made it happen.
That's great.
So that's the kid that's that plays at home. Yeah.
Wow. Damn, that's all.
Can't remember the lyric, but Nas was like, how it go? When I come back home, nobody's out but shorty doo-wop, rolling two Phillies together in the bridge. We call them ooh-wop. And the whole thing and shit. And the kid played the shit off lovely. Where I wear bulletproof and pack of, he was that, he had that whole shit that I
So
needed.
that kid was from Harlem.
I caught him on the corner, B, and just got him to play that character. I talked to him.
I always thought he's from Queensbridge. Damn, man. Fuck that.
Nah.
It's okay.
But, so in the scenes, when Nas, I do the whole shooting scene and whatever, those was the real Queensbridge cats. Like people was really playing themselves. Of course. Then I do the jail scene, and I bust a bunch of them cats out to this. We found a local jail that looked like an old style prison, had tiers and shit. Wow. And that's where we did the jail scene where his man that's writing him is in jail, That's
great.
So that was fun to do that video because the song was perfect. I just had to put the right pictures together.
No one kind of like made a song like that prior to that, right?
No.
I think everyone...
not with that level. I mean, I would like to think so. I think people tried to be like cinematic and tell a story, but that was my thing. I knew I could handle that.
But not only was he telling a story, he was telling a story for right now for a person that's in jail.
Oh, you mean Nas? Oh, in terms of the way the song was put together.
And he wrote a letter.
Oh man, no, listen, no, it was beyond. It was
genius. A triple entendre.
No, it was Oh man. So let me tell you another thing we did. There was a cat in the directing game that came up under me, brother from Brooklyn named Black. Name was Brian LeVar. That was my man. And he got on, he was a PA on some videos, but I saw he had flavor. He was a real deal cat out of Bushwick, Brooklyn. So he worked his way up to where I knew it was time for him to get a shot directing. So I'm setting up and developing everything to shoot the video for One Love.
From Blunt? That's old school.
Thank you. No questions.
Bring it back. This is a Philly Blunt.
Beautifully rolled, too, by the way.
It's Boris. From Peru.
The Peruvian roller.
The blood is in it.
All he eats is chicken and fries. All he eats is chicken and fries. That's it.
That's it.
So,
chicken
and he's a vegan.
Give it to him.
So basically,
You don't want nothing else.
I'm preparing to do the One Love video, and Nas calls me and says, yo, I want you to do this other video I want to drop. It's a remix to The World Is Yours. He wants me to do that too, but I'm like, man, this is a lot. So, but my man, who was like my right hand on doing videos, he was assistant director. Like he learned the entire game and wanted to direct. So I basically got him to direct the remix To the World Is Yours. And what we came up with, what I told my man we should do is, I said, listen, because the box was really popular then.
Yeah,
you would call,
you
knew the
order
numbers.
it, you 99 cents.
Not exactly. You
Something
call
like
it
that,
up
yeah.
and you could pick the number. If you did it late at night, the video would come right on. So I said, listen, come up with a story in the video where there's a kid that, a character, we'll both cast him together. I'll make sure he's right. And then at the end of whatever you come up with, this kid is gonna run away to get away from like Popo or something. Like some setup he had where the Popo was raiding like a gate and dude got away and he ran. And that cat who ran, we worked it all out with the same outfit and everything, is the kid that you see in the beginning of the One Love video running. And this is the kid that plays that whole character in jail, whatever, that Nas is writing the letters to.
Right.
And you see the kid run. The video opens with him running and the police jump out and they lock him down. And Nas is in the project window and he's like, damn. And so the whole idea of doing that was so that on the box, you could play both videos and the video would go from The World Is Yours ending, dude would be running in the same outfit, and then when One Love comes on, that's the same cat. He running, and then boom, 5-0 gets him. He says, yo, what up, kid? No shit is rough doing your bid. When the cops came, you should have slid to my crib. What up?
Fuck it, black.
The time of looking back is done. Puffs, congratulations, you know you got a son. By that point, so by that point, you seeing him in jail now, reading Nas's letters. In fact, I think over his godson.
That is genius.
That was a moment I was so proud of. And my man got to direct, and now he was in the game because now he done made his first video. He went on to do a lot of, he did a lot of shit. In fact, he did a video for Big Al, you know, and he got his shit on then. He's still in the film game, my man Black. What up, Black? Yeah, man. So that was a fun story.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Quick time.
Oh yeah, please.
All right, Scene or Zephyr?
Oh man, y'all gonna have to drink on that. I love both of them cats. I mean, Zephyr's one of the stars of Wild Style. And Scene is incredible, man. My man Scene from the BX. Yes.
80s or 90s hip hop?
Wow. Damn. Nah, y'all gotta drink. I love them both. 80s and 90s. How y'all so cruel with these I can't, it's hard to shit on nothing.
That's the cocaine section over there.
It's hard to shit on anything over here.
Drink. We drinking for that.
Look, I'm
I
waiting.
didn't drink for this one.
Nah, I did.
Now that you go get to play.
Yeah, look. I'm waiting for it.
Come on. VIP. VIP.
I did.
All right. Basquiat or Warhol?
Oh man, damn man, every time there's people that I really love, like
with ZB, bro.
He said go with 80. He said go with 80.
Say go with
IT.
Nah, both of them.
IT.
I love both of them. I love both of them, man. You know.
You say both, man? Come on, man.
Nah, Andy, yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes, indeed. Rest in peace to both of them, man.
Yeah.
Both my homies right there.
That's you got the next
All
one.
right. The Ramones or Agnostic Front?
Oh wow, definitely the Ramones. I know
Queens, right?
who the Ramones. I think they was. That's right.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
The
they
Ramones
was.
are from Queens?
Yeah. You don't watch Entourage?
I mean, it's been a long time. They showed the
That's a minute ago.
Ramones being from Queens?
I think they definitely was from Queens. Yeah, they was definitely New York cats out of Queens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Rock and roll high school.
Talking about that. So Queens or the BX?
Wow.
Don't say
Yeah.
both, man.
Gotta go back to New York.
I mean, I'm from Brooklyn, so
You should be like,
Yeah,
neither.
just pick Queens.
Neither.
yeah, neither. I can't. Yeah, neither. I can't sit on Queens, qualified Queens, in
All right.
the boogie down Bronx. You know,
Yeah, you know.
Grandmaster Flash or Kool Herc?
y'all got to drink, man.
Jesus Christmas.
Neither
man.
one of them, B.
We're not going to be able to be here with you right
Them
now.
foundational, man. Y'all got to come with some more crazy shit. You should have some people that were certified. Wow.
No, those are
Thank you,
cocaine
thank you.
dealers over there.
All right. Oh, we got to drink that.
guys.
Sorry.
Yeah. The Dominican and the Colombian.
Oh my God.
Cypress Hill or House of Pain?
Ooh.
Oh man, neither, man. I love both of them guys too.
Okay.
Man.
So you saying both or neither?
Yeah, you said both.
Both. That is same shit.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
the same crew.
That's what I'm saying, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We gotta drink this.
Both of them debuted
Gotta
Yo
drink.
MTV Raps. Shit.
Yo, relax, Sonny, man. I didn't even. Oh.
Come on, man.
So,
It's no
cheers, bro.
joke.
We got a drink.
Cheers, bro.
Yo, this drink champ shit is real. I see now. Y'all ain't playing over here.
Yeah, when we take the pictures like Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, God. What an experience you guys have. This is so dope,
All right.
man.
NYC Breakers or Rocksteady Crew?
Oh, man. Definitely Rocksteady Crew.
Okay. I was afraid you
Yeah.
say both, and I'm not.
I mean, respect to New York City Breakers, but Rocksteady Crew for sure, baby. Come on. We made history together here.
No, it is your favorite.
They starring Wild Style, baby.
Wu-Tang. Oh, wait, hold up. So NYC Breakers were not at all at Wild Style at all?
No, just Rocksteady.
Just Rocksteady, okay.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang or NWA?
Oh, man, I can't mess with that.
Me neither.
Why you touching my shit, dog?
Man, how do y'all come up with these questions?
Don't touch another man's shop, man.
Come on, bro.
That's
Y'all-
the Colombian and Dominican section right there. They come up with the questions.
What? Y'all is dope. Yo, that's why he pointing y'all out. Oh, my
They on
goodness,
that
bro.
thing. They on that
Oh,
thing.
man. How could you do this?
We think they on that thing.
All right. Rap City or Video Music Box?
Video Music Box.
All right, you pick.
Come on, 100%.
All right.
Here we go.
Last one.
Loyalty or respect?
Wow. I mean, both are essential. Shit, both are mandatory. So,
I just
So we gotta do both.
I like it, but I want to hear his perspective on it. Because I grew up from.
Oh, what the fuck, man? You don't even.
nah, they both are mandatory.
Yeah, he been around.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been around, and those are
I know I'm getting ready to learn some shit.
that's foundational right
Yeah,
there.
that's mierda.
Shit,
So you need both.
loyalty. Man, you know what's incredible? DJ Premier, what was this, 2019? Right before the pandemic. So my film drops on 4/20 in 2019. Grass is Greener, my documentary on Netflix. Over 2 million people viewed my joint. It was crazy. I'm sure a lot more since. That was numbers I got back then. DJ Premier called me up and said, so I did 2 videos. Well, I did Just to Get a Rep, and then I did another video for Guru and a French rapper that was a real pivotal, pioneering French rapper that opened up the scene named MC Solar.
Oh, yeah.
Not the other MC Solar that was,
There's 2 of them?
the one that was involved with Guru towards
Guru's-
the end.
the-
That was
the
another
issue
one.
there? Okay.
I'm talking about the original one in my book is
Which
a
is the
French
one
cat.
in Guru's album,
So hear me out.
Jasmine
This is the
Tag.
story I'm getting to.
Okay.
That's the story I'm telling you. This is French Guru. I'm sorry, French MC Solar. And the song is called La Bien La Mal. It was on that Jasmine Tag record.
Right.
I direct that video. And so, yeah, I shot it in Paris. It was the idea of the video, which was being in Paris. I fell asleep on the Paris metro once and woke up, and I was like, man, wouldn't this be amazing? Like if you was on the train in New York and you woke up and you was in Paris, or vice versa, because the subways are so similar. Like,
But you're gonna wake up naked in New York. If
you still know.
you fall asleep in New York, you're gonna wake up naked.
Well, you want to try to. You know how you just doze off on the train and you wake up.
A doze off is different from falling asleep.
No, you're right. It's
Okay,
like a doze off. You know how you do on the train in New
doze off,
York.
right. A
And you
doze
just
off,
be.
you good.
It's amazing how you can go to sleep on a train packed with people. But if you ride the subway in New York, that's something you can do.
Yeah.
And I would have this like vision of this happening. So the way that video opens, that video for that song, Guru gets a call from MC Solar. He runs down the New York City subway. He comes out of the Paris metro, and we run all over Paris, filming them do this song together. So that was like, a really. But anyway, so I did 2 videos, that and the Just to Get a Rep. And so Primo calls me, and he says, "Listen, man, there was a legal fight with this other Solar person, and we got back the rights." Or all the other materials that Guru, when he passed, this dude had held on to everything. And
she was crazy.
Primo and his family. So you know the half on that. Yeah. So Primo was like, "Listen, man, I got this one track, and I created a new beat for it. It's called Family and Loyalty, this track. And
The most recent.
this is the most recent.
You know I got it on my playlist.
Yeah, it's a real good. So the idea was, in the hook of the song, diamonds, it's a reference to like diamonds.
Yeah, diamonds are forever, like, you know.
Yes, diamonds are forever, like he just.
Like loyalty, you know.
Thank you. So it's this whole thing about diamonds, and I'm like, man, how do I deal with this without being like a gratuitous bling bling kind of thing? Right. But how do I address these diamonds? So I came up with this concept, which the video opens with a reading of Guru's will. And in his will, this lawyer states, in Guru's will, these raw diamonds were given to him by an African prince. And Guru's son, Primo was like, his son has to be in it. Son's like a young man now, 22, 20, whatever. And basically, the concept of the video is when the son gets these diamonds, I shoot him going around Harlem, cats selling t-shirts on the street, go to this juice bar on 145th, and they bless the people with these raw diamonds, like on some gratitude shit. So it's a whole nother way of dealing with the Stones and stuff. Anyway, it was a fun video.
And J. Cole is also on that joint.
Thanks for remembering, yes.
No, I know.
Yeah,
J. Cole.
That's from the N.O.R.E. gang, the N.O.R.E. Gangstar joint.
It's the newest, yeah. J. Cole, we go down to North Carolina and I shoot J. Cole. Anyway, it was just such a special vibe that Guru, an artist that I work with, and here's a song, you know, like a new song. So it was a real privilege to do that video, which felt like videos back in the 90s. Like I did it real rough, running gun, you know, and yeah, anyway. Thank you.
Man, I can't thank you enough, man, because
this has been so much fun. I've been waiting my turn.
No, not your turn. This is your house.
Thank you.
This is your place. The fact that black media is taking control of black media, or hip hop is taking control of hip hop media, and me and EFN could like sit back and say that, you know, we kind of like was trying to do that, but when we spoke about that, it's always been about what you've done for us. And that's meaning like put hip hop first.
Yes.
Like, you know, in my run club, we have something called Run First, right?
Run First?
Run First in my run club, right?
Okay.
Right? But in life, it's always been hip hop first. Hip hop has always been the catalyst to get us to the next place.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I just want to thank you because hip hop has really brought us to the fucking forefront of everything in life.
That's right. It's
really has.
Beyond my expectations. Really, it's a thrill and a blessing that, you know, just seriously to be kicking it, like I keep it real basic and organic. My mind's blown that this continues in such an incredible way, especially not just, I mean, everything has gone on here. I see how real this is, but once again, like I said earlier, to see how it's touched people around the world, you know, it's like beyond.
The world.
Nah, it's wild.
Yeah, it really is, man. And that's one of the sad things in a sense, because we're in a culture now that technologically has completely changed and things happen at hyper speed, literally, from the technology that's coming into play. Every other week it's an AI advancement and this is happening and more people getting to do these things. But at the same time, it's like, I think one of the reasons hip hop was able to develop so incredibly is because the aspirations were so real and so humble. Like, I'm just trying to be somebody. I'm trying to be nice on my block. It wasn't completely motivated by how much money you wanted to have and just an exaggeration of riches. Just really trying to be somebody. Just really trying to stand up and say, yo, baby, check me out. Like, I'm really here and I'm gonna break it down to you in the flyest way possible.
Props was the currency.
Completely. Yeah. And so all of that, I think the roots went down really deep. And that's, I think, significant to where it has blossom so much fruit that's so continuous. And this thing, when it seems kind of flat, it'll switch up on you in real unexpected ways, which is
That's optimistic, man. I hope that to be true.
Well, it's been consistent for me. There's been many times, and I've been involved for quite a while when it seems like it's kind of flat, it's kind of corny, it's kind of whatever. And then there's a whole new energy. That's why I don't diss different styles. Like a lot of times, older heads just, try to say people mumbling or just skinny jeans. And, I get that because people lock into the era when they emerge, what they hear.
Absolutely.
But you got to remain open-minded, which is what I force myself to do. Like, I'm not going crazy over every little thing that gets made, but I'm examining and listening. I want to understand, like, what's motivating some of the things that go on. I've always been curious about that.
Yeah, my only concern with it is confusing what the over-corporatization of it versus what the real art is. Like, don't let the corporate push convince you that this is what it is when let your heart tell you what the art is. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. But along that line, the way the dissemination of music now is so completely different.
Right.
With DSPs, I mean, anybody can post something on YouTube right now. I mean, it's kind of amazing. It doesn't make sure, it doesn't guarantee you, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the democratization is there, but it's also like, it's a whole new landscape of stuff that's more open. Like those companies that had control, that's no more.
I want to take a quick advantage. A homie of ours, Scam, come over here really quick. Just really quick, just show your face. So, because of the art aspect that you bring to everything you brought to hip hop, he's the guy that created our logo. This is Scam. I don't know if you know Scam.
This?
Yeah,
this
but he did the album cover for Beats Rhyme and Life for Tribe Called Quest, the Eminem artwork, amongst a lot more. I always use those two.
Beats Rhymes and Life. Which one is that? That's the
Midnight Rock.
Oh my
and
God.
he's an MC as well.
Wow.
Tracks with Eminem and many other people.
Oh man, damn. Honor to Bell. Wow, Tip's a good buddy of mine, man. We and him connect on him. That's amazing. Congratulations.
I'm sitting here.
That's one of your images.
I just want to shout out Scam because he hasn't been here in a long time.
That's yours. What's on the show to know?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That little flip,
Yeah, he's from Miami, homegrown, Harold City.
Yeah. Mario, bro. Yes. Man, I love the logo, man. That's really fun.
He helped us. We have an iconic logo, and this is
Definitely. Wow. Congratulations. Yes. This is a great logo. Great branding.
Yeah, man. It's
Yes, a pleasure, man. Yeah.
So this has been iconic, man.
Oh man, thank you, man. I've been wanting to do. This is so great. You guys got such great energy.
This is your
in
house,
here.
though.
One more time?
This is your house.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I will
man.
be back. I appreciate it so much, man.
you-
I used to feel so bad. I know people on your team hit me up a few times, and I just had, the last few times I was in this neck of the woods in Miami was to go on the reggae cruise. Like the people that promote that and put that
reggae
together.
cruise?
Yeah, the Marleys.
smoke weed.
And
I want to smoke.
Say what?
I want to smoke weed on the reggae group.
Oh no, man! Listen, be on the high seas with all that great reggae. It's such. I was a big reggae head. I directed mostly all of Shabba Ranks' videos.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, I did a shitload of that, and I was deep into that scene. Trailer Loaded Girls, Mr. Lover Man, Slow and Sexy. Yes. I did most of Shabba's back, at least 5 videos for Shabba.
Wow.
At the same time, I was.
Get Shabba, just FYI, I just want to throw it out there.
I'm sure he would
Shabba
love it.
Ranks.
Shabba would be
we
great.
love that
Great
Shabba.
We
energy.
love Shabba Ranks over here.
Man,
Shabba's
listen.
an icon.
I was deeply immersed in that dancehall scene because we would cover it on your MTV Raps. But coming up in Brooklyn, I was around from back when the posses was popping, and I'm hearing, the earliest dancehall people. I was tuned in. So when I got to work with Shabba, I was able to go to Jamaica for the first time and meet some of the illest cats, and really get immersed in the ghetto culture, Willie I God and Bogle, I was moving with them cats in jungle, and because once again I'm coming down there, I met Super Cat. He was coming off the stage performing at Sting, and he introduced me to Willie I God and Bogle. That was the Roses crew, and so we became tight. Because the next time I would come back to Jamaica and Kingston, go to House of Leo, I see Willie. He said, "Man, people calling me from everywhere. If I'm London, they see me with you." I'm like, "Whoa!" So we got tight, and I'd hang with those cats quite, Quite seriously, that was a fun experience, man.
The book comes out. What's the date?
Yes, March 10th. Everybody's Fly in bookstores. Everywhere. Man.
So do we take a shot for the book? Just one shot for the book?
Let's do one shot for the book.
One shot for the book.
Y'all will do that.
Now, we got to let you choose.
What we got here? What's that?
Okay. This is Mama Juana. Dominican Mama Juana.
What is that?
That's some shit made in a bathtub.
You could do a religious ceremony or you could enjoy your drink.
I'll maybe go with this.
You gonna go with Fireball? I wouldn't suggest that.
Oh, you want to do Fireball? I don't know if I want to do Fireball.
No, that's not me.
I thought about it. You want to do? I'll do Fireball. If you do Fireball, I'll do Fireball.
I'm gonna just take a little bit. I'm gonna
take a sip.
Thank you so much. I just want to taste it.
What is that? Okay, all right. So,
all right.
And now
you gotta do Fireball too. You got one too, buddy.
I'm taking.
No, I got.
Now remember, it's a runner's drink. Come on.
I'm taking a sip.
Come on. You can do it. Don't you run? Don't you run?
You threw me under the bus to help me out.
I just thought the story behind it was so dope. I mean, I want to taste something that runners is with.
All right.
Yo, but hold on.
After this, let me just say this.
Me and my partner right here.
Yes.
We love hip hop.
Man.
Absolutely.
I might love the more fashionable part of hip hop, and he might love the more grittiest part of hip hop.
Wow.
But me and him have the same exact passion.
Absolutely.
And when we know that we have Fab Five, fucking Freddy, we were so excited. We both, I love the fact that no matter where we at in life, we always come together and say, this is what we want to do.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And when we have a person like you, we want to salute you, we want to respect you, and we want to let the people know how much you should be honored, and we are going to honor you. And we are honoring you. Everybody here, we sincerely, this is real shit, bro. Like, I came home, to watch your MTV raps.
Wow.
And that shit changed the culture.
Yeah, it changed lives, man.
And I will never, ever in my life not respect that. So you don't have to take a shot. But if you want to.
I'm tasting.
Cheers.
That's what I do. I'm gonna taste some cinnamon whiskey. The brand is Fireball.
All right, take the motherfucker.
The fact that people that run love
it. Wow. How you the guy? Stop taping.
Yo, this tastes good. It's like
I told you.
It's like
mouthwash.
What do they call those drinks? Liqueur that you mix with other.
Yeah, trust me, it tastes good. It could give you the nasa beans.
Yo. So one more time.
Coño.
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thank you for what you did, because I want you to, on a Sunday.
On a Sunday?
On a Sunday. I want you to open up, it's called Black Internet. Just open it up. And there's going to be 15 million podcasts that you can look at. And I want you to say to them, y'all owe me flowers. Because the first black media that made it cool, national, worldwide.
Yes.
You said Germany, you mentioned Italy.
Yeah.
God bless you. That's the reason why I said that story earlier with Ralph McDaniels. With Ralph McDaniels, we were so cocky. We were so, but it was really only just New York. You had the chance to do MTV and broadcast. You made black people all over the world be seen. And I will always salute you for that, man.
Hip hop in general.
Hip hop.
That too. Thank you, man.
You just Fab Five Freddy, nigga.
Coolest motherfucker on the planet.
Look, you hung out with Madonna and Tupac. This shit is crazy. But I want to tell you face to face, man to man, we love you and God bless you.
Thank you, man. I love you guys too, man. This is definitely one of my like top hip hop media experiences. I want to say,
Yes.
because you guys are so passionate. I've watched
we will.
Salute on 10 years in the game. Like you can feel it. It's and even everybody in the room that's down. I've heard people clapping. I get to see everybody up in the building.
Yeah.
This is really special. You guys are doing it. So salute for doing something so real. And definitely carrying on, like literally the baton in terms of realness.
Thank you.
This is it. I mean, you don't fake this shit. That's why a lot of people gonna try this, but you guys are the model.
Take a picture. We got some picture.
Yes, yes, yes.